I think we just dive into it. Let's do it. Game number 1. Let's dive into it. This will be our first quarry game. And I'm very excited to see if these villagers go forward. Ladies and gents, here we are, the second quarterfinal of Hidden Cup 5. And we all feel as though we know Otto the Great is going to bring some chaos here. This is the first quarry game we have in the main event. And quarry is a map where most of the action comes through the middle. And we called it before the game. He's the most predictable player. If this is MBL as Otto the Great, he's going to send villagers forward. I preface this for a reason. And MBL confirmed as we have Loom on the way and 2 villagers walking forward.
I love this too, because from Gajamada's perspective, you're like, oh, who could I be playing against? You're going to see these builds. You're like, I know who I'm against. He hasn't shown the builds yet, though. Only the scout.
He hasn't seen the vills, and both boars are in the same spot, actually. That's just going to be horrible. This would be epic.
Does he bring them back,
he doesn't see the vills.
Do you wall these in, or do you bring them back? Okay, so he's going to shoot these. Now you bring your scout back and one hit both of these so that your opponent can't take it.
Dude, I mean, you could kind of look at it if you're Gajamada and see the way the boars are kind of going, trying to hit the vills.
Oh, he takes the sheep.
But now the sheep are getting lamed as well. And the master boar lamer.
Okay,
he's going to have
the boars with the scout.
Start.
Kill the boars with the scout. So you deny the food. Otherwise, they can make a mill on the berries and then take that food. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. The boar meat is going to be available.
But I mean, still, you are walking long distance. You've lost the 2 sheep here. You're Britons. You definitely want that. And this is just a crazy start to the series already. Otto the Great, we haven't talked about his civ yet. The Spanish is normally a late game civ, but he wants to get an edge early. And Gajamada will see that. It's interesting, Dave, that he hasn't sent any vills out there to attack it. Some players try to ignore this, but what would you think about actually just milling the boars? Is that too crazy?
That's what I'm saying. Or you could mill the berries and still take the food at a reasonable distance. That's why I was saying you need to kill those with the scout or wall them in or something, as we see Otto just, still having these villagers with their arms full of food forward, laming more deer to try and deny as much food income as possible. It's a crazy amount of food that's been denied already. Look at the lack of food underneath the town center from Gajamada.
And I mean, you can't prepare for this, right? Gajamada doesn't know who his opponent was. Technically, we don't know. But, you couldn't come into this after all your prep and strategy, knowing that your opponent is likely going to do stuff like this. You simply find out in the moment. And so we'll see how he adapts to it. He is going to take some of the boar meat. Now, it is rotting away, but there's still hundreds there. He drops the mill, and, well, Otto the Great is determined to kill every single deer that he sees getting pushed in right now.
You have 70 food in the arms of those villagers, right? You have got 70 food, and you're coming back?
He wants to kill it. At this point, it is so close to the enemy. He's going to attack. His opponent doesn't have loom. He's going to wall in the berries. Okay. I mean, I think there is a point, Dave, where most players would have gone back, but the players who would go back also wouldn't go forward in the first place. I think that's fair to say.
This is ridiculous, dude. You have to remember that they're carrying food. I mean, there's such a thing as being lost in the sauce. And it feels like Otto is completely lost in the sauce right now. He had some early success, but the stubbornness to hang around as he finally makes his way back to the base.
If he's not in the sauce, he's not playing Age of Empires. That's the thing.
True.
He doesn't breathe oxygen. He breathes the sauce at this point. He needs it. And I said this, well, I guess this video isn't public yet, but we made a little video about a player named MBL, and we'll see it during Hidden Cup. And I said this about him. He was the most true version of himself to qualify for this, right? He stopped trying to be meta like everyone else is. He stopped trying to be, a normal player, and he just embraced chaos. And that's certainly what Otto the Great has done here to start off our quarterfinal.
Still, look at the res collected. Significantly ahead for Gajamada right now. So while you can deny food and you're going to force your opponent into farms earlier, you're still hurting your own economy, right? As he drops off that food finally, and it's 500 res ahead.
Wow. And I mean, think about how frustrating that could be. Think about how crazy that was. And this whole time, Gajimada's just been creating bills anyways. Took some of the board, is going to farm. This isn't something you'd normally see in Dark Age, but that's fine. A couple of bills to go on a gold. And this seems to me like this is going to be a bit of an archer and adapt situation for Gajimada here. But I do want to just touch on one thing. So in the qualifier, we had the this little line of trees on the side, and that has been consistent ever since this map has been introduced. For the main event, we did make it so that is just 50 wood a tree. So if you wanted to chop through there and be sneaky at any point, the likelihood is much higher now, and players are definitely going to have to pay attention to that if they think they're safe after walling the middle.
Okay, so Otto has severely delayed Gajimada into, getting these archers out on the field, getting that aggression. Couldn't go for the 2 militia that maybe the Britons want to go for earlier to hold that map position. Let's see how he reacts to this, because he has to secure his base somehow. If you're Spanish, if you're planning to go into the castle, and he's on stone right now, so he might be, I think the normal reaction would go for walls. I think the NDL reaction would be to just place towers everywhere, or maybe even try and continue the aggression somehow with forward towers, because he's on stone with 5, and he's not going to have enough resources to hook up to Castle Age here.
I think we're going to see like a 10 villager stone wall. Wait, hold on. What? Okay, so 5.
I mean, he is Teutons. He could go 10 vills forward.
No, he's Spanish, bro.
Oh, Spanish. Sorry, Teutons was the other pick. Sorry, who's lost in the sauce? Oh my God, it's me.
No, it's okay. I get it because he picked Teutons, and we were expecting Teutons. It's a very Teuton type of thing. Okay, so I think Gajimada saw the vills, or maybe he didn't. Now he's going to see the vills, and he's going to be like, huh? And so there comes the tower from Otto. Now, Otto doesn't have a scout to see his opponent is making archers. So as exciting and as entertaining as this has been so far from Otto, this is concerning. This is very concerning.
A second tower when the first one's not even going to go up to support the tower foundation that won't complete. So now he has to make a full retreat back, and he's just sending more vills. He doesn't have anything to counter the archers. They don't have fletching, thank God.
Oh, God. And it's like he just didn't have a plan for a follow-up, and Gajimada says, what's the Mata, Otto the Great, and is massacring him, and more vills are going to die. I mean, this is forgetting about the inefficiency of having your villagers running across the map, which has obviously been the case here. Otto the Great did not have a real game plan here beyond making it messy. And this might be a doubt tower here, dude. Nope, never mind. Tower goes up, at least for now.
I'm speechless. Oh, another 4 villagers coming forward. Some reinforcements here from Otto as he loses more. Economy at home looking fantastic. And the tower will attempt to go up, and then he's going to have to attempt to repair the other one. Every time he ungarrisons these villas, they get weaker and weaker and weaker. And the tower does go down. It's just such a weird play to go forward when you know your opponent's going to have archers. You didn't delay him that much. And now suddenly you're stuck with a tower in the middle of nowhere. And you're surrounded.
Oh, God. I mean, sometimes you just have to commit, right? If you like half commit to a strat and then it doesn't work, and then you just try and bail after losing vills,
he doesn't need to commit. He needs to be committed to some sort of asylum, because this is just crazy, dude. The sheer number of villagers he sent forward over the course of this game.
And he's not going to stop, right? Because, like, what else does he have except this push? In theory, the best move for him is to continue to double and triple down on this right now. He has done a good job killing the archers. Like, Gajimada lost a lot of archers. He is keeping the tower up. He killed his first villager, but he's losing more. And, well, not the start Otto fans wanted to see here. And, oh, wow, we got another tower. Oh, God.
If this keeps going, though, eventually he'll make his way back to the base on the left side, and he'll have a defensive tower. Which is probably what it should have done in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, hindsight being 2020 and all, I really would have liked to have seen Otto immediately go for just walls and defensive towers. But after he lost his scout, he didn't know that Gajimata was going to be making
Another one.
archers. And okay, here we go. This is good. This is great.
And
you know,
meanwhile,
I will say side
Gajimata's
note.
like, how about I send a villager forward so I can do the same thing to you?
Yeah, seriously. I mean, we're just running through the open hole in the wall with an archer. Dude, like, okay, so I got a message from MBL like 2 days ago or something. It was the day after I casted auto. He was asking a question about like broadcasting or whatever, like streaming rules stuff, nothing tournament related, of course. And he messaged me, he says, "Hey T90, question." I responded with, "Hey Auto, answer." And he said, "Why do you think I'm Auto, man? 11." And I responded with, "Don't tell me anything, but you're clearly Auto." And then obviously he didn't say anything more. Like, there's no world in which this could be anyone else in this tournament, right?
Hey, man, he's getting the third tower up forward, working away on the house, and we're looking at the economy from Gajimata. I mean, he's only 8 villagers ahead. 9 villagers ahead. So, Otto, you know, at least he's still putting on some pressure and he hasn't given up. And we respect it because it's super entertaining. This is just really fun Age of Empires.
Well, also, it shows the fight of Otto to not have called it now, because Otto knows how bad this is, but still feels like, all right, whatever. First game in a long series, I'm probably dead, but let's play on and make sure that we are indeed dead, which is definitely which seems to be the case here, as we have Gajimata soon going to click up to Castle Age. And, okay, now the GG's called. I mean, most created military unit tells the whole freaking story there. I don't know how
Second
somehow...
and third is the scout.
Yeah, I guess that happens if you've only produced, you know, archers and had your starting scout. But a fun start to the series. Maybe some nerves there from Otto, too. But Otto's going to need to have something more than just YOLO villager rushes to win this one.
Well, I mean, it was just such a great start with those villagers killing the boars. He didn't loop around with the scout and take them out, or he didn't wall them off with the villagers, which he also could have done, right? There was a lot of things there that could have been maybe done better, but I think the worst mistake from Otto is not just kind of collecting himself after he gets that initial damage and recovering at home, right? Maybe going for the full wall, going for the towers. Instead, he tried to come forward. You have to know the Britons are going to have an archer range up there, and you can't push forward with towers when archers are already on the field.
Again, Otto the Great played amazing on Arabia, played amazing on Mudflow, and then had a very unique strategy with Teutons on Hidden Forts. And Otto the Great does not want to go to Hidden Forts. For his home map, he goes to Arabia, and he has gone for the Slavs. And we have the Mayans for Gajimata here, Dave.
Most created unit here for Otto. Is it Spearmen or is it Skirmishers? Because if this is MBL, even against Mayans, we see the spears, man. It happens. People say, why ever make a Spearman against Mezzo? Trust me. He likes to do it.
I love this from Gajimata. Gajimata goes, oh, okay, I know who I'm up against. And I know my opponent is known for laming. So I'm just going to assume that I'm going to lose something here. And I'm myself going to move forward with an eagle. And he's doing so now to try and steal something here from Otto the Great. Now, Otto the Great hasn't gone forward to lame, but eagles are really difficult to deal with at the start of the game. And if any sheep or boars are found here, could definitely see Gajimata going for the steal.
Yeah, Otto notices that, and he's going to back up. There are 2 sheep over there. But Gajimata might just assume that like Otto has already scouted the front of his base and go back.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he's going to find him. Nice.
I actually think Otto, obviously he never found those 2 sheep himself. I thought he was just realizing, I'm going to get lamed. I need to go lame as well. But for now, he's lost 2 sheep to Gaja. A good start for Gajimata. And Gajimata is actually going home with the eagle. Otto should be able to find these sheep if he looks for them, but he's not going to be able to get a counter steal in on Gajimata.
I think like the good thing coming into this game for Otto, even though you're down 1-0, I mean, it can't get much worse, right?
Yeah.
Than game 1?
Yeah. I mean, that's
so
a
he
weird.
should be
That's a
feeling pretty
weird
good
positive. That's a weird positive. But as someone who also sometimes lacks confidence, getting like playing awful at the start or going down a game actually could sometimes help. You're like, okay, well, whatever, I'm behind, and you don't like overthink things all that much. So, it's also not like he tried his favorite strategy that he was expecting to work and it worked, like hidden forts, for example, which we'll see this series. This is just
then.
something that didn't work out. You don't have to overthink it. And as he goes forward with his scout right now to Gajimata's base, he's going to bring in his boar.
The map looks pretty good for Otto. He's got that back gold, right? The berries are kind of further back as well. It still hasn't pushed in many deer and is noticing the wall now starting to come up from Gajimata. Gajimata's base, okay, as well if he walls to the town center. It's actually a pretty good setup for both of them, I think.
Yeah. I will say it hurts Otto here. He came forward to try and get some extra sheep. He didn't find any. And he also didn't stay home to push any of his deer. Now, if Otto is MBL, MBL is he does something I think a lot of other pros need to do at times. Sometimes you just have to build that Dark Age farm.
Where is she going?
But, yeah, good
Hello?
question. Otto sees her. I'm guessing that's a house villager and then eventually for a barracks. But Gajimata's village just kind of walking out there to chop a 3 for the time being.
She's still going forward.
And what?
What?
It almost seems like he clicked this villager behind to see if there was a hole through in a wall.
And Otto saw it. Otto saw that villager 100%. Yeah, there must be some sort of path.
Oh, he's looking for the boar!
Looking for the boar! Hidden cup or like hidden
Boar's
person.
hiding!
Oh my god! How is that
What is
back
that? So he sent his eagle forward, right? So he didn't get the scouting. The boar, I think he just found it, Dave. I think he just found the boar. The boar should be coming in now. He's looking around at the back of his base. He found it with the sheep. The boar was hiding. And you might not think that's that big of a deal, but not having the boar meat does delay you a little bit. He's going to find it now, but that explains the villager. The villager was probably looking in some dark patches there.
Yeah, that's a really far away boar and just in the one spot you didn't expect. And that's what the villager was doing. It was looking for the boar meat and then probably saw the HP on the scout from Otto and realized that Otto didn't lame that boar.
Ah, true. Yep. Well, Otto saw some walls. Otto needs some extra food right now. Otto is going to try and push in deer, but the eagle is here from Gajimata. I have to say, Dave, I know we haven't seen a lot, but Nikov said that Gajimata is ACCM. It is not Tato. He said, I am 100% certain. He also bet a burger on it. And it'd be a very ACCM thing. Pick Mezzo, go forward with the eagle, try and get some laming done. Wall super early with the Mayans.
Yeah. I mean, I saw that bet you made with Margugu. All I'm going to say is the last 3 times we've gone for kebab, Margugu has not had his wallet on him. And I've had to pay for his kebab. So I'm not sure that bet is a reasonable one for you.
Okay, so you're saying even if I win, I'm going to be paying
just
for
make
my
sure
that
we need the money up front. All right.
Oh, Margugu, I love it. Well, walls are down here for Gajimata. Wants to make no mistakes, especially being up against an aggressive player like Otto. And one of the worst things you could really have happen is you want to go scouts and then your opponent's completely walled. Gajimata not taking any chances, not going to make any mistakes here. As the farms come down for Otto, and I'm sure they'll be great with the Slavs, the walls are up already for Gajimata.
I mean, that's just a nice adaptive play to the map and also to the fact that the board was a little bit late, so they had to go up later to the feudal age, right? So you're not really putting the aggression on. The scouts won't be able to find much damage, but there will be map control here for Otto. And if I know one thing about Otto's playstyle so far, they love map control. And they can just go for, they feel a lot of freedom if it's MBL, right? He loves it as well. You can just do whatever you want to do. And you can control your opponent's decision-making.
I think if you are the scout player here, you want to resist the urge to go for skirms as much as possible against a fully walled opponent who can go eagles. Because the second you start to make skirms, that Mayan player can kind of give up on the archers long term, switch into
Yep.
eagles, and then go all in eagles. So
If you're
it's
doing
good
the
if
full wall thing, Tristan, like I
yeah.
would almost rather like slab. Sorry for interrupting you there. If we're doing the full wall thing, I like the slab farming bonus.
Mhm.
That's great, right? As long as you are tracking the army and you both have walls, slabs should be pretty decent.
Spot on. No, and it's literally just the timing, right? Because if the walls don't keep this army out, what you needed instead was an archery range for the skirms. But if the walls are down, this could be okay. Now, 2 spearmen's going to make it awkward. Otto the Great. Notice there's no box formation here, Dave. Another tell, perhaps, on who Otto the Great is, since the majority of pros use box formation for their scouts. But walls come down.
I mean, MBL constantly complaining about pathing and then never does anything to help himself with it, right? Or the regrouping or anything. Well, here comes the army into the lumber camp. The wall was taken out, and Otto, if it is MBL, will pull the villagers to fight and then just send them back in a weakened state to the wood line and just engage here with the scouts. And that's going to be a pretty good engagement. Goes after the spearmen first. Does lose a few scouts, but the headache is gone.
Yeah, I mean, I think the headache, it's one of those headaches that's still there for the next couple hours, but it's getting better now. It's not completely gone because you did just lose quite a few scouts. You did just take another hit against a spear, and you would have wanted to ideally just get the walls down, right? The army getting through like that was massive here for Gajimata. And now Gajimata has a decision to make. He's got the archers out there, but you see him dropping the market. And a lot of players these days, if they want to go all in, will sell their stone. So I'm curious if he does that to try and get the castle age faster.
20 or 19 on food for Otto. I think the berries are still a thing. I think they're about to run out for him, but the farm count is actually really solid for him so far. And just needs to hit that timing with going out to the gold so far. And that's a lot of farms for slabs at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I agree. And it's gonna get better and better and better over time. And maybe some knights could work out. Listen, folks, I hate to keep repeating myself, but another thing that MBL is known for doing is adding additional scouts to flood the map for map control. This obviously brings us back to that scout loss earlier. Maybe had he not lost those scouts, he wouldn't be adding more. But right now, Otto is going to try and find the next follow-up. It's like he's waiting, knowing there's going to be an army follow-up, and he's even going for armor right now.
There is no spearman with that army. Like that archer army and the eagles should die to this, even before the armor comes in. Those 2 scouts are on stand ground. There we go.
Yeah, even before the armor is correct. Now he's got to make sure he gets to the other side of these archers. And he doesn't want the archers to be able to group up with the other group. Does get some snipes. That's pretty reasonable. Now has armor. Will have 5 scouts, so might be able to kill this as well. And that would be huge. If you can kill this group of archers next, being later to Castle Age isn't that big a deal, in my opinion.
I think, like, also getting rid of the mass that could be upgraded to crossbow is really important, because eagle crossbow is a lot more difficult to deal with than just pure eagle. And then the pikeman mixed in, right? Especially if you're full walled behind. If you're against eagles and you're full walled, you're actually feeling a little comfortable. Because you can run out with cavalry and try and snipe the siege that comes along, but this is not the greatest.
I actually think this might be worthy of a highlight there. I want to show how the spearman micro was there for Gajimata, because sometimes players will just leave the spear in the fight, and it eventually gets hit by the scouts and goes down. But some players these days, this never happened a few years ago. They're hitting with the spear, they're backing away, they're hitting again, they're backing away, almost like players do with step lancers. And that micro there is maybe the difference between Gajimata, keeping his archers alive like he did, or losing the entire army. And yet again, like, Otto the Great, clearly a talented player to be here, obviously has some uniqueness, Dave, but I am more and more impressed with how good Gajimata continues to play.
Ooh, he sees the villager too. Sees the villager coming forward before Castle Age is even in, so that gives him a hint as to the timing of Castle Age, and it gives him a hint as to the follow-up from Gajimata, which is going to be The crossbow, Bodkin upgrade coming in. Eagle spamming from behind. And then a siege workshop forward on the side here.
Wow. And look at all the resources there. The stone and the gold is there. Like, that is a really good position to hold long term. 20 seconds from the next stage is Otto the Great. Now we get to see his level of damage control. And he does lose one Vil, but it could have been worse this game. The tower will go up. It will protect that. Here's just the spear. This is what I mean. Boom, boom, boom. He gets 3 hits when a lot of people only get 1. And so the spearman helped out so much there. But big push coming here. I guess siege defense is going to be needed for Otto.
Yeah, I mean, that was really, really good because you can't target the archers. The spearmen will come back to hit you. And if you target the spearmen, your scouts are going to spend so much time bumping up against each other, trying to run around as the defensive siege workshop comes out from Otto. Now, if Otto is MBL, probably the best Mangonel player in the game. Like, his control is just insane, right? And I think we saw it in the first set on the Slopes game, the micro coming out to play. So we'll see how well this Mangonel defense works against the Mangonel crossbow eagle push from Gajimata.
Gajimata is so freaking aggressive. Oh, forward villager gets found here by Otto. Very nice snipe. But, like, just some small things here. The eagles being there, now they get pulled away. He immediately targeted a farm to try and just get any advantage he could, taking out a farm even. But look at this from Otto. Sits on both sides now. It's like, okay, you going to come into my base or are you going to send reinforcements? What's your decision here, pal? Really nice job.
Ooh, almost got the eagles with that attack round too. Great job from Gajimata to recognize that. Those eagles are so weak that you're just waiting to pull something out of position to engage with those. They're no value underneath that town center. They will all die.
Yeah. Second TC is up for Gajimata right now. So he should grow with the Vil lead. Keep in mind his eco has been untouched. Let's see how the micro goes. Nice hit there from Gaja. Repairs will come in from Otto. Remember, Otto is 1 TC. He's pretty all in here. And all this action is happening right next to his base. Losing
eco
farms right now.
Is the same though. Like, villager count is the same right now until that Vil died. Other than that, though, great Mangonel micro from both so far.
Oh my god,
and here come the knights, and here come the light cab. Complete clear, maybe?
Split micro from Gaja. He dodges one Mangonel. He should know the other's weak. He runs into the knights and the light cab, though. And the Mangonel will be saved. Oh my goodness, what a clear up for Otto the Great.
That is insane. And that other Mangonel is dead meat as the crossbows get pushed back. And suddenly, Gajimata in a bit of a difficult position. I see he's got more crossbows in the south there on the wood line, but it looks like Otto's realized that, and he's going to take care of it and send light cav of his own. But if Gajimata doesn't have another siege workshop,
don't open it. What are we doing?
Really
Otto the Great, don't open it. Don't open it. You're going to lose Vils.
What is
Sorry
that?
to interrupt you, Dave.
It's worth it. Like, don't open it. I agree. Why did he open that?
Well, I guess maybe he felt like he'd have the army coming through from his base to the outside. Instead, it looped around. Well, 10 villager lead for Gajimata. Gajimata's got to recover with army now. It is only just 10 crossbows. And this is the Slavs we're talking about. So their farms are really efficient.
Castle, I think.
Ooh. Yeah. Really heavy on stone for Gajimata.
And you know what? If you keep the walls up on either side, a castle in the middle might not be the worst thing against a guy that's going Knights Mangonel. Because crossbow Mangonel yourself is going to be a difficult defense.
This is a game that Otto needs. This is his home map. He's behind right now, but with the player we know, we feel he is so good in siege knight situations. Gajimata planning for an early castle, which is great, but you have to have a castle in a good position. You don't want a castle that's behind these TCs, because then your TCs will just get chewed up. This is not easy for Gajimata to defend from right now.
I mean, Gajimata's just sitting here going, I know you're MBL. Why do I have to be playing MBL? Like, maybe favorite on paper, but like, why me?
Yeah.
Why me?
And he'll definitely be saying that. If that happens, then that is what Otto the Great can do from downtown, the attack ground master. And again, it's like, where do you build your castle? Now your opponent's going to have 2 siege weapons on you. You don't have any. This castle is meant to defend resources, Dave. It is not meant to, like, barely keep your starting TC alive. And yeah, he's going to drop it because he feels he has to. But that is a really nice hill for Otto the Great to be able to control right now.
69 villagers against 51. Still a nice economy overall for Gajimata. But like you said, the positioning here is going to be awkward with that castle. And also, if you're keeping your crossbows there, that is a choke point you don't want to be running through against Mangonels.
Look at the attack round from Otto outside the siege workshop. Yeah, he's like, I know you might hop out of there at any moment. I'm ready to pounce. Crossbows going into the TC. Some players will hop out of the TC with crossbows to try and take out the siege. But against Otto, that would be pretty crazy. Otto trades a 1-for-1. He'll take that. He knows his opponent has a castle now. But back to what I said before, it's like the castle doesn't actually defend this TC now, which I think is the biggest problem with it.
Why? There's a castle, there's a defensive siege workshop, and this ram is just slowly rolling forward like it's going to do anything. I mean, I believe in it. I definitely do. But if anything, you should put the ram on the right side and then bust him with those +2 light cav. Because that's a dangerous army if it gets in the economy from Gajimata.
I really like how the crossbows are in the TC right now. I think that's pretty smart. You're getting all the extra arrows. You don't have the villager idle time. The ram doesn't accomplish anything, which normally is the case at this level. And the crossbows could hop out. I mean, again, we see some players hop out of their TCs with crossbows like this to go for the siege, but he immediately regrets it, and he goes right back into the TC.
Okay, wheelbarrow coming in. It's 59 villagers here for Otto. It's 78 for Gajimata, but Gajimata is like one hole in the sidewall away from losing a lot of his eco if Otto uses the mobility. Another amazing Mangonel snipe there from Otto. Incredible.
Yeah, Gajimata, though, finishing it off with the crossbows is next level stuff. Loses another Mangonel, though. Otto the Great will not stop, and same situation as before. Gajimata wants to build a castle. He's like, where? But wait. Oh my god, dude. I know he lost crossbows there, but the fact that Gajimata has killed like 2 or 3 Mangonels with crossbows hopping out of town centers is next level.
Dude, Otto needs to diversify. Like, you need to use the mobility on these light cabs somehow. I know you're feeling great about this Mangonel micro and stuff, but even if you take out this position, there's a castle behind.
Yeah. Dave, if he gets through anywhere with light cav, Gajimata is not going to be able to micro like this. Is not going to be able to defend like this. Another shot comes in. You make one mistake against this siege pressure, though, and the crossbows go down. And I'm just thinking, like, what's your long-term unit comp right now if you're Gajimata? Because it seems to be crossbow, but I'm not so sure I would like crossbow against a player with this much siege.
Is there a push again on the Otto's base? Is there something coming at a forward siege workshop that's still alive from Gajimata? Because I see
there might. I think it might be a
over
siege
there.
weapon. Oh! What a find! I mean, that is so good to be able to think to do that. Keep in mind, Gajimata has only lost 3 villagers this entire game, which is ridiculous. But yeah, Otto just recenters. Otto did try and go to the right, but it's completely house-walled because Gajimata is a god. Gajimata. And so he's just going to recenter his focus onto this position right now. Because at least he knows he can find some value here.
There's getting to be a lot of cavalry. And finally looping to the north. And they might find that gold from Gajimata in the north as there's an army pushing up that way. Gajimata is very distracted with this push. They're on the gold. They're on the gold in the north, man.
Yep, and this will lead to Vil kills. Now, Otto could potentially take better fights on the front because his opponent's distracted, and that's exactly what happens. The reaction to the raids led to that, and while there weren't many Vil kills, the eco continues to fly for Otto the Great. He continues to eat this TC, and he's still 30 Vils behind. But
crossbows in the back.
No! Otto! Otto, look at your base! Oh, that's brutal, dude. He's so focused on the front, he doesn't realize his own eco's been raided.
10 on farms.
Yikes. And obviously, Gajimata notices that, right? He should recognize that he's killed more Vils than he's lost, and he defends. What a player this Gajimata guy is. Unbelievable. You worry for Otto right now, Dave, that if he doesn't get in and get significant damage, that he's going to be outboomed.
I'm just wondering, like, the stubbornness to keep attacking this position when there was a defensive castle behind there the whole time. Right?
Yeah.
Just utilize your mobility, force your opponent to pay attention somewhere else, and then you can maybe fund those big mangonel shots. But, I mean, that's probably why the mangonel micro was so good early for Otto. It's because it's the only thing he was focusing on.
Yeah, and look at this from Gajamata. Goes in for the siege again. Gajamata is unreal. There's a reason he 4-0'd Gregory. And remember, we don't know who the players are, but Gregory was a beast. And, like, Otto is playing phenomenal here. Otto has beaten many players on Arabia playing like this. To be at 100 vills against all that pressure, to have counterattacked and defended when it was needed, and to notice the units were stacked there is unreal from Gajamata.
I saw those crossbows stacked. I was looking for a big shot, but I should know better. Gajamata's micro is insane, and the mangonel micro continues to be insane from Otto. But 103 vills versus 79. At least the food eco is coming back a little bit for Otto.
Can we talk about how many mangonels Otto the Great has right now? He's got 6. Some of them are probably at home, and some of them are coming forward. So he's not giving up. He's got 7. He's got 2 over here. Who needs crossbows
gonna go up
when you
first.
can put mangonels? Yeah,
he's going to go with a forward castle.
This is crazy, dude.
Is that another siege workshop, or is that a university at home? It's probably a university.
Yeah, probably a university. I mean, if he takes out this TC, I get what you're saying. Like, but he has never really lost control of this. If he could hold this position, he always holds that gold. It's very difficult for him to deny any other resources right now. But if only if he could find that extra gold that Gajamata snuck out to, because that is pretty undefended right now for Gajamata.
I also want to know how much wood Gajamata has sunk into repairing this town center. It's got to be a crazy amount.
Yep. Imp on the way for Otto the Great. What in the world? Apparently on Twitch, guys, I don't know if it's on both platforms or what, but apparently just get used to refreshing because we're having some issues here with the stream. Sorry about that. Amazing show here, an amazing micro from Gajamata. Again, I cannot stress to you, just a reminder for anyone, like, the mangonel's the counter unit there. You shouldn't be able to use crossbows and plumed archers against siege like this. It's unbelievable.
Here comes the castle soon. He wasn't afraid to go for those towers against archers. Is he going to be afraid to go for this castle when he has the mangonels still around? I don't think so. Oh, it's defensive. Okay. Yes. No, he can't. Come on, buddy. Not there. Forward. Yes. No, more.
Dave is speaking to him right now, and boom! A nice shot. He still can't seem to decide where he wants it, and there it is, Dave. There it is.
Nah. Needed more.
Wait, there it goes. A little bit further forward for you. I mean, Imp gives you trebs. Imp gives you armor on the light cav. I really think, I mean, it's a 97 vills to 117. I could definitely see Otto winning this game. He's got great map control. He's expanding his eco. Gajamata still doesn't have a big army. And the army he seems to be committing towards is plumed archers, which he needs the castles for.
Slavs are better late game, right? Than Mayans. Like, Mayans are going to be more resource efficient. But when you think of the ultimate compositions for both of these civs, like, especially if you're controlling the game so far, Slavs are probably better.
That gold, though, that extra gold is so critical here for Gajamata. He's going to lose this one, but he's got like 2,400 gold over there, which he's been taking uncontested. It's such a raidable area, but Otto just doesn't know about it. But the tunnel vision at the same time for Otto is not bad, because the tunnel vision is all over this gold. It'll lead him to focusing on the castle. The big siege push continues there. The tower will be trepped down, and the plumed archers have found an annoying little nook. How do you do this, Gajamata? That has got to be so annoying for Otto.
Especially after the archers took out his scouts earlier with a nice little position, as there's another defensive castle from Gajamata on the right side. Gajamata doing the right things. Defending with the castles, realizing that a push forward with a castle is not the play, right? Focusing all your castles in the same spot, not the play. You got to spread out, and you got to take advantage of the fact that Otto is tunnel visioning throughout most of this game.
Yeah, I really think Plume Halberdier is what you want here. So, sometimes players will want to max out on their current unit, which is completely understandable. But eventually, we need to see more barracks from Gajamata, and we need to see how, because Lycav is the main threat.
Oh, another
as
spot?
He finds another nook. I mean, it's just so good, right? He's doing a million different things. To find that every time must be so annoying for Otto. But yeah, I think Hal Plume is the way to go. Waiting to see those barracks from Gajamata.
Onager on the way. Onager. If we had any
MBL
questions.
Confirmed. MBL confirmed. Yep. And it is actually a perfect move here as well. He's like, oh, you want to sit there, huh? You want to sit there?
Shoot!
You want to shoot? Well, great job from Gajamata to be annoying. Here, the Lycav are getting some raids in. There's going to be Trebs on the front there, or some plumed archers coming to raid. That needs to be dealt with. Those plumes will kill Vils. Dave, I'm almost speechless right now. This game is so good.
Do you remember there was a game, I believe, in one of the Red Bull tournaments where MBL's base got completely cleared from behind, and then he just reboomed in the center with
MBL cap watch. Yep.
With a bunch of castles
crazy game.
In the center.
Yep. Stacking castles
looking
in the
like
middle.
that.
Otto the Great did that in the Bay game. He stacked castles towards the middle with Italians against Lithuanians there. He ended up losing that one. But that definitely seems to be the direction we're going. There's random onagers around. The plumes are finally getting found. And the castles in the middle for Otto the Great protect his Trebs. And he can start to Treb down Gajamata from either side. He's got a nice farming eco. Yes, Gajamata has expanded, but Gajamata is going to start to get picked apart here in game number 2.
Second wood upgrade just now coming in for Gajamata. Interesting. Nikov's not in here, chat, so just keep that in mind.
That's stone as well. I mean, for a player who's already dropped so many forward castles, Otto is going to love to take that stone. He's going to be back over on his gold, and I'm seeing a player in his comfort zone right now. It was very chaotic early, but that's what Otto wanted. And Otto has outposts on the side, so he's aware of all that, the sneaky movement from Gajamata. And let's think about this. It's just been Lycav pretty much as the main force for Otto the Great. He's been using a unit that costs food to get this damage.
The vision is disgusting here for Otto. It's really, really solid late game play, and the Lycav are everywhere, and Otto has done such a fantastic job. What a shot with the onagers there on the plumes. Where's the army for Gajamata? It's in the ground. It's dead. 20 military only for Mayans against Slavs. Not the position you want to be in.
Yeah, now he tries to defend with Trebs, and that gets sniped as well from Otto the Great. And Otto the Great was 30 villagers behind. He finds himself 15 villagers up. He's got a relic. His opponent does not. He's got siege. He's got Lycav. And even though Gajamata is fighting right now, I'm not seeing how he can ever stop this death ball in the middle.
I'm looking at that elite plumed archer tech coming in. I'm looking at the fact that Gajamata is still fighting. I'm looking at the fact that Gajamata's micro has been great, but not flashy.
Yep.
And I'm thinking maybe my Mr. Yo prediction was correct from before, Tristan. The first game didn't tell us all that much on who he is.
Honestly, but I thought Tato for Gajamata. Now, the Nikov prediction of Gajamata being ACCM, or your thought that maybe this is Mr. Yo here in the red, I think you could be right. I'm not sure.
28 onagers!
Certainly we know who Otto the Great is. Otto the Great wins the game, created 118 Lycav and 28 onagers that game. And let's not forget, also got incredible trades with his siege. The perfect series so far. What more can we say? Chaos at the start, game 1. Otto fell apart. Fell behind here and was able to bring it back.
I mean, I thought Gajamata had a really solid approach to that too. Full wall. He went for the archers, which he got value with. and he had that little siege workshop on the side as we see the Mangonel micro, just beautiful. Both Mangonels being controlled simultaneously, it feels like, and then the light cav coming in from behind. Beautiful defense. But once Otto got that foothold forward, I mean, Gajimata just couldn't look away. He couldn't look away. The most he could do was send 7 crossbows into the economy, which did a ton of damage, but that's all he could spare from that defense.
That clear up right there that we just witnessed was insane. The majority of the players die to that push. They do not get that trade. They do not save their mangonels and do not have the ability to push forward. And he still fell 30 vills behind, but he needed that clear up. He made it happen. And Otto the Great just proving all of his fans right. But here we are, game 3, and we see a very common pick in the Italians for Otto the Great here on Bay. This pick has happened not only in this Hidden Cup, but in Hidden Cups in the past, Dave. But Gajimata goes for the Bengalis, which he did in his first round. What do you think about the pick?
Well, I mean, Bengalis are super solid in terms of economy, and they're super solid in terms of the ships healing on the water, right?
Yep.
So really great for a hybrid land sub like this. The only problem with Bengalis is they don't get knights. So it makes it difficult when you have that huge economy and you want to put it into a high value unit, and suddenly you're looking at your stable and you're only getting elephant and light cav. Elephant takes way too much eco to really get rolling. It feels like you're going to die before that. And a lot of times on this map, you don't want to play into archers really, especially against Italians.
Yeah. Very fair point. I think their tech tree is going to be the problem. I love this. So Otto the Great, when he played Bay, he started off the game by sending 2 villagers forward to lame his opponent. And here, his scouts started headed directly over to Gajimata's base. And Gaja was just scouting for his own resources, found that scout, and just basically chased him on home and was like, hey, if you want to come over here, fine, but I'm going to weaken you at least so you can't steal my boars. So that was smart. You know, the expectation here is that both players are going to fight on water. And so if both players are going to fight on water, the Italians have the cheaper dock techs, they have the cheaper fishing ships, and then also the Bengalis have the ships that regenerate. So I can't really pick one, but I do feel like the additional villagers the Bengalis get is an underrated bonus, even on a map like this.
One of the best economies in the game, if you decide to full out boom with them, right?
Yep.
I think they are just going to have a villager lead on almost everybody, except maybe like a civ like Malay that can kind of equal that bonus, as we see the villager now from Otto heading out towards the dock. Now, the last time Otto played this map, sent 2 villagers forward, correct? Was it 2 or 1?
It was 2.
I can't remember the
2.
exact number. 2. Okay. And then didn't decide to try and lame the dock villager. Instead, they walled up like the berries in the back and like a gold in the back. The strategy has very clearly changed against Bengalis, however.
I think, Otto lost that game, and even though that game went to Imp, maybe Otto would simplify it in his mind and be like, well, the strategy didn't work. And then maybe if Otto makes it to the semifinals of this tournament, maybe next time he plays Quarry, he's not going to Vill Rush there, because finally he ran into another instance where it just didn't work. But what I would like to see here, so I actually think if this is just 2 docks from both players to fight for water, the Bengalis have the extra vills. The Bengalis also have the ship regen, and that feels...
Oh, God. Hidden Boar. Hidden Boar 5.
Hidden Boar...
Again.
Hidden Boar 5 continues. What? It's going to move, right?
It's not moving.
It'll move.
Sometimes
not moving. They move.
It's not moving.
Oh,
it moved.
Okay, it moved. It moved. Yeah.
And it moved again.
So, only for MBL does it move closer to the TC. MBL confirmed. But to finish my point, I'd like to see Otto the Great not just fully give up water, but honestly have a little bit more land focus. I don't think you want the Bengalis to be able to have an easy breezy type of water contest here.
Sure. That's cool. Yeah. But the boar might go back underneath the dark area.
It should eventually go back into the darkness. It should, because it moves on the same path.
Did he forget about the boar?
He doesn't have the food to go up. No, he does.
No, he's got villagers underneath on the deer. He's got villagers on the deer, and remember, he's playing as Italians. Needs to remember
yeah,
that.
but
that
he
it's
doesn't have
it's
the food.
cheaper
This
up.
is bad. This is bad. This is horrible. This is abysmal. It's right there. Out of the Great. It's right there. Out of the Great. The boar is on your screen, bro. The boar is on your screen. You can see it. It's right there. He's got to change his whole strategy. He sees the boar.
Oh, no.
Ooh, man.
Well, the downfall has begun, and now we'll see what kind of strategy Otto manages to scrap together here, because this is a clear adaptation, right? Queues 2 more villagers.
Yep.
Will not have the timing to go for the water contest, and instead will be sitting here trying to go for like a fast castle or some sort of adaptive build.
Yeah, pretty much. He's starting to wall. You have to go fast castle now. And it's not bad. But if Gajamada quickly realizes that the opponent isn't contesting on water and stops making fires, you could just add some fishing ships, which on top of the extra vills should be really, really nice for him.
I mean, if nothing else, Gajamada is going to be very confused as to what the strategy is here, because the dock was up early, right? There was no lames or anything like that. And now Gajamada is like, okay, I'm in feudal H. He should be in feudal soon. He should be going for a second dock. Wait, he made the fish? He's not going for a dock?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you know, it would be really funny if this was game 1, because at this point, Gajamada wouldn't know the tendencies of Otto the Great to be very, chaotic. But I think at this point, now we might see 2 fires and then immediately 2 fishing ships in queue behind it for Gajamada. Like, I think that's the best play, actually. Actually, could see a villager go down there. Otto the Great trying to get the walls down. Should be able to save this. But did you see that one Vill? This is just so Otto.
Yes.
Otto walking across the map, wandering over there, trying to do a sneak. Just another day in the life of Otto here. Oh, man. Losing a Vill when the Bengalis already have a 2 Vill lead and the fishing ship lead would be so bad. Fishing ships go down. Gajamada's adding more fish. And Otto the Great's going to have to really be creative here, dude.
Yeah, and Gajamada's coming back. He's like, I know this Vill is weak. I'm waiting for it. You could go for a gate there.
Yeah.
Doesn't. Oh, boy. All right. Listen, Otto, you got me. You're my favorite player
Dave.
in Hidden Cup. Like, you got me,
Yeah.
dude. Sorry.
It always is. It always is. It's always Otto. Okay, now
it's just he has Town Watch so he can see. Okay, so just don't everyone
I don't think Gajamada noticed anything. Wait. No, he just repositioned the villagers on gold for more efficiency. Okay, so Gajamada has no clue there's a Vill in the back corner of his base. He's never going to expect anything back there.
There's nothing back there to go for. There's absolutely nothing. It's the worst corner. Trust me, I'm an expert on corners. That's the worst corner ever. He doesn't have to look there, but he's going to look there soon because Otto will have something. The only question is, what is it going to be, right? Does he wait for Castle Age and go for a Siege Workshop? Does he drop a barracks now and go for stables in the back or archers in the back? There's so many options.
I think the highest value thing you can do with that is, and hear me out, right? Double monastery, no siege. Because, like, if you show up with monks and just convert vills, that's an eco lead for you. You can wall in the resources. I mean, double monastery and siege is obviously great. But I'm thinking monks has to be incorporated into this push, and he's on the way up.
What about one stable with a monastery? So you have knights coming out, and you wait until you have like 2 knights. You hit the wood line, and then if they get damage, you can heal them. If there's any units going to counter the knights, you can convert them. It might be an archer range, though. I don't know what's in the back there. What's in the corner? He's building a building now.
Yeah, it might be a house, honestly. But I think stable is way better. Oh, my God. People. Top 16 in the world. Hidden identities. Hidden stable in the corner of the map. This feels like a scenario that you would set up. You know, it's like, okay, we each got a stable in the corner, but like we can't build our own. This seems like something scripted. He's gonna add some scouts.
Wow. I love how Otto just found himself in this position, right? Because he didn't have the boar that was hidden.
Yeah.
He couldn't go up to feudal age. This clearly wasn't the initial strategy. And then he's like, well, I'll send a villager forward because screw it. I've already really messed up my build this game. And he found his way to the back corner.
Yeah, it's just
crazy.
This is a player, and this is why, now again, we don't know who Otto is, but we all feel like we do. This is why it's been so tricky with a player like MBL, for example, to predict. And also, people have always said, well, maybe if you practice, you'll get better. You can't practice for this. This is all about being adaptive on the fly. He screwed himself up by not taking the boar, and now he's in the perfect position.
The problem is when he gets housed, because those houses are going down from the fires. And if we know something about NBL, he loves getting housed. The light cav aren't showing themselves yet. I think you have to wait for that upgrade. Forging is already in, which is fantastic. And you have to wait for the monk. You might even want to wait for the mangonel. It's tough, but I think you have to, dude. I think you have to hit him with everything at once.
I agree. You do not go yet. You have to wait. And a lot of people are going to be through, and they're going to go, and they're going to attack. He's going to go in with the light cav. He's going to arrive. Now, where he arrives to is going to make Gajimata think there might be a hole in his wall. So he might think that the light cav ran through somewhere else.
He's walling off the wood line, brother. That's not going to help.
And now there's a monk from the south, and now he knows there is an opponent within my walls. What has happened here?
Another forward villager, too. You want some help?
Just going to build a house.
Oh, he's just going to wall it in. Oh, here comes the scorpion. Uh-oh.
This is perfect for Otto the Great. How is Otto the Great ahead? Otto the Great, perfect. Now, he didn't keep the light cav on the other side there, which would have been really nice. He could have killed a couple more vills, and he still doesn't have fish. So Otto the Great is definitely still behind. But he would, honestly, without this sneak, he might have just been dead in this game.
He loses a monk, but he kills the light cav. Now, one thing I would love to see from Otto, which would be really, really nice, is that monk, unfortunately, does go down from him, is to just, like, wall all of this back stuff together. So the light cav can't come in and snipe your monks. And you can just slowly make, like, a corridor towards this town center. I think that'd be really solid.
Gajimata has to leave his base for wood, and he has to leave his base for gold. He's going to be taking gold in the middle of the map right now. And we can't forget, again, there's fish there for Gajimata. That's where he's taking gold. And there's no real attacking happening at Otto the Great's base right now. So it is 1 quarter to the next focus for Otto. The fish will run out eventually here, too. And this is a close game. Nice job there from Gajimata, Dave. He knows monks are going to be coming out one by one. And he picks off the reinforcements.
Is this like another siege workshop from Otto? Like, what's he going to build forward here? Houses. Okay.
Well, he bought stones. So
don't tell me it's a town center. Okay, I thought he was going to drop a forward TC.
A forward TC would have been a bit much, and I'm glad Otto agreed with that. Well, that's kind of the logic with these pushes, though. The logic is, I'm safe and you're not. And then you could freely boom. Now, we're going to see Otto try and retake the water here. Interesting decision. He drops 2 docks. We'll see if Gajimata notices. If Gajimata doesn't notice that, it should be very easy for Otto to come back on water.
There's a lot of light cav there. This is where corridor gaming would have come into play.
Yeah.
But the monks are trying to get the conversions here from Gajimata. Will he get them before his own monks go down? It is Bengali monks. He gets 2 light cav, Tristan. It's not good. It feels like all of this is going to be cleared up and the villagers are on the run.
Yep, and I think the villagers will be killed off. Now, I think the key here immediately, after clearing this up for Gajimata, is you have to get villagers down there to those buildings, and you have to wall it up, or ram it down, or something, because you know Otto the Great is not going to stop being a little pest. Look, he's queuing up more stuff from that. So I would really like to see stone walls around that, because if you could wall it off, then suddenly you could focus on the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm. Also, no war galley research in yet, right?
Yep.
There's no war galley from either player. So the fire galleys from Otto are going to take a while to kill the fish, but there's the war galley tech right now coming in on the right side. And
look at those fish traps, bro. That's not Tato.
That's ACCM. Yeah,
that is not Tato.
Nikov might be right.
What? Gajamata, 70% of the community said it was Tato who 4-0'd Gregory.
Okay, hear me out, Tristan. Go ahead, dude. Finish your point.
Well, I'm just gonna say Tato would never place fish traps like that. That's like me placing farms, bro. That's just not happening.
But if you think about the scorpions looping over, those fish traps are just out of range of any potential scorpions or range units.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I actually don't mind that if you're worried about. I mean, yeah, that's decent logic. The fish traps were an investment that will go down, though. Otto the Great has been able to reclaim water because of the sneak villager. And you're right. Maybe he placed them far away because he was worried about siege or monks, maybe. But it does all go down. And yet again, Otto the Great, who didn't have a meta opening, ends up evening up the Vil count. Or, well, I say yet again, he didn't really do that so much later in the previous game. And we're going to boom and head towards late game. What is that? What? How did he get Vils over there? Yeah, but like, he walked a long way for that TC.
He's done it before. He's a walker.
I mean, it's really critical that he did do that too, because right now Gajamata's thinking that Otto the Great is only within his walls, and he's gonna probably start to push that. And you know, those Vils are probably never gonna be found out there.
This is just such a wild game. I love it. I'm so glad we got to cast this set together, dude. I was so excited this morning when I saw that Otto was playing. And Gajamata is very clearly an excellent player and someone who can deal with this pressure very well. And there's the outpost forward. There's the Siege Workshop with the good economy behind. So the pressure is going to be transferred here over to Otto's base. But Otto did a fantastic job retaking the water and denying that fish trap potential.
Yeah.
Gajamata.
And Gajamata now doing a fantastic job to push on land. He's like, okay, I've cleared up your forward now. You can't do any damage to me. Now I'm going to pressure your town centers. Now, he doesn't know about that other TC, but it doesn't really matter. Like, if he can get a forward position here on Otto, Otto's still screwed, even with his sneak TC. So I'm looking at that stone right now for Gajamata. I think he might drop a castle on Otto the Great.
Redemption coming in for Gajamata, too.
Wow.
If he suspects that, and look at there's the Siege Workshop. If he suspects that Otto is MBL, which he probably knows by now, he knows that MBL will go into Mangonel defense against this and be pretty confident, and then he can just convert the Mangonels. Plus, he can convert the houses and delete one.
Yeah, just convert a house and then delete it.
I don't think you show it, though. I think you wait for the Mangonels to come out, and then you show Redemption. Oh, he's going to convert it now. Okay.
He is going to show it now, so it makes Otto make a decision. This is Bengali monks as well, so there's no way that the siege from Otto should be able to deal with the monks, even with like a random shot hitting. Loses the market. Gajamata dominating Otto the Great right now. Otto the Great might have that sneak TC, but he's going to lose his main eco, and we have a forward statement castle from Gajamata on the only location that Otto can take stone at his base. That castle is going to go up, and Otto the Great has big problems right now.
Huge problems. You had all of your military investment forward, and suddenly you're being pushed with all of this stuff, and you have to remake all of that behind. He's still... Oh, my God. He's still being annoying.
He has to, Dave. He has to try stuff there, because this area is being lost big time. He's going to run out of wood pretty soon, so he needs that sneak to still offer something. But for Gajamata, you're kind of planning for life without that corner anymore. You're expanding, and you want to take the lands from Otto. Otto's Vil count's still decent. He does have the light cav there. But I just feel like I don't know how he can defend from this, because the monks can always convert siege, and the siege from the opponent is just going to take down all of his buildings.
This is just a crazy game. Crazy set so far. I would say Gajamata definitely has the advantage, but I mean, Otto is really expanding the farm eco behind here, and Gajamata still doesn't know about that town center in the north, and Gajamata suddenly can't focus everything on the monks with the forward push because he's being harassed by that stupid light cav from the stable that's still alive in the corner of his base.
Yeah, just random stuff coming into his base all the time. Like, what madman's going to make more monks when the opponent has light cav? Otto the Great is. And Otto the Great He might need a tower in defense at home soon. We might see him consider guard tower. He's going to get Sanctity for these monks. That's not going to help them. Oh my god, dude. I mean, siege push still coming in hot and heavy from Gajimata. It needs to be dealt with. Otto the Great doesn't have an answer. He would need Lycav at home. I don't know if he has many stables at home to be able to defend from that push. And another castle from Gajimata! The guy's insane! So it'll be 2 castles on Otto the Great's face.
Important to note that Otto does not have fletching for this tower. He's getting it now, but he can't range those monks. And he can't walk under this TC either, because that's where the shots are going. So the Mangonels don't really have any value here. Otto now ejects the villagers, and he's like, yeah, whatever, this is a good idea, I guess.
I mean, it kind of is if you want to advance forward with your siege to maybe deny the castle. If the monks are distracted, is this actually going to deny the castle here? The monks are getting shot. The villagers on the castle are getting shot. What is happening? Villagers are going down. Dave, what is happening? The castle's going to complete? Maybe?
Is it, though? 99? Yeah, it's going to go up. It goes up.
Barely.
And now Otto is... Now Otto needs to run with the tail between his legs, and that is going to be a dead TC. Wheelbarrow's not going to complete in there, and he has castles cutting him off, but he goes for another town center up in the north.
I love Otto so much. Like, the TC on the belt region of the pants here, it saved him, right? He would be dead without it, but I still wonder... At what point does he run out of resources where he started here? Like, he's gonna eventually, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's out of wood there, I think. He's only got that one wood line behind. If Red comes over there with the Ratha, it could be a big problem. Wheelbarrow comes in on time. Wheelbarrow completes from that town center. Big.
Actually kind of a big deal, too, because he does have a lot of food eco. Can we see... I'd love to see Gajimata's vision right now, because it's not like he hasn't expanded a lot this game. He's got quite a bit of vision on the map, and he should be able to see almost everything. Like, right now, he's scouting around. That Ratha might find a TC here in a second.
Does it?
But...
It turns around, dude!
He doesn't see it! The farms is us, guys. That's a spectator thing. So, that is the player can't see the farm. So he's going to go imp, still with no clue that Otto the Great has a whole nother economy expanded elsewhere. Crazy.
Oh, man. And Otto is now maybe looking for a push in the north there, too. What is it? It's a siege. Of course it is.
Oh, so Otto's going to go siege Lycav push with those villagers on the other side. What in the world are we witnessing here? This is definitely like the most entertaining series, I would say, so far. Of Hidden Cup 5, and if we were ranking them, I think Otto the Great's first series on day 1 or whatever day it was probably good as well.
I guess if he doesn't want to get converted by Redemption Monk, and then he can force the engagement and kill with Lycav, but still, Imperial Age will be a problem.
I mean... There are a lot of vills exposed out there for Gajimata. And it's not like Gajimata can make knights. He can't make camels. Like, he's certainly not going to expect it. Gajimata's going to think, ooh, I'm imp. We tread push. Let's go. And then right when he's trying to do that, he's going to get punched in the mouth.
Dude, look at his line of sight. He can't see either of those town centers.
What?
And he's just going to notice Lycav. Like, what?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you got to assume that there's probably a couple sneak buildings over there, but he's not expecting a whole economy from his opponent.
Oh my god!
That's also the imp
and he's
TC,
not going to expect. He's not going to expect 2 Rams. Yeah, he's too late to take it out, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, of course, Otto the Great's going to need to defend his main base soon, and we'll see if he has enough to defend that. He's got Lycav in his main base. Again, he's running out of resources there. That is pretty much his farming area. Lycav from Gaja are going to come in. Gajimata still is a Vill lead, still is an imp, still should win this game. The sneak attack from Otto the Great needs to happen now. It's not happening just yet. It seems like Gajimata is able to closely match the amount of energy there with the Lycav. And Otto the Great says, no, bro. I am the chaotic one, for I am Otto the Great. And he is going to drop a castle on this eco that Gajimata has. What? I mean, it's just expected at this point. We shouldn't even be surprised.
Yeah. It's incredible, dude. It's just incredible entertainment. It might not be the most optimal play, the most meta play ever, but I mean, nobody's turning off the stream right now because Otto is making this crazy. He's coming in with the Rams, but there's so many light cap there from Gajimata still. Feels like the castle will complete.
I mean, he can make Genoese crossbow now out of that castle, which is really good against light cap. He still will get his whole main base trapped down, and Gajimata's just like dropping TCs. But, you know, I can't help but feel like there's still a chance for Otto through this push. A lot of the eco for Gajimata is still going to be in that area. Gajimata needs to make sure that he's just raiding Otto's main eco. Like, you got to get like 20 light cav into Otto's eco, and Otto's completely dead. Oh, man. There go the light cav right now, and the upgrades are coming in too. And yeah, like, Otto doesn't have a TC there anymore. He's going to drop barracks for some spears, but it might be too little too late right now.
Yeah, those light cav are absolutely brutal, and that final armor upgrade's about to come in too from Gajimata. Gajimata just expanding the economy, realizing that he's got this one, and now Otto also resigns here. Great game. Probably the best of the series so far, and the last one was so good too. I'm really excited for the rest of these games, Tristan. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah, and Gajimata has just done so well against the Chaos, we have to say. Game number 1 was very short. This game, he had a sneak that could have killed the best of them out there, and he still was able to win this game. Such a great job. Like, the forward castle and the monks was so well timed. I think for a lot of people, it takes them a lot longer to get the counter damage in on Otto's eco. And because he was able to really suffocate Otto there and push him back into that corner, he was able to get the job done. We'll see now, game number 4. And I'm thinking Hidden Forts Teutons. It worked before. Will it work again for Otto? Or will he go like Mudflow, maybe Japanese? Oh, no, dude. We called it, man. We called it. It is Otto the Great playing as Teutons, which he did in the first round and played so well. And actually, Gajimata also played Saracens on Hidden Forts in his first series. So because these players didn't get to see the earlier rounds, they didn't get to know their opponent's preferences and have any guesses ahead of time. So none of these civs were on the ban list. Teutons against Saracens, Dave. Talk me through what you've been liking about this map, and what do you think works?
Well, it's very interesting to me, the players that decide deliberately not to chop through and the players who are forcing the chop, right? So I would assume that Gajimata would try and force that, and Otto the Great, just like the last game, which was against really bad civ matchup, I think like Hindustanis or something like that. It was really bad for the Hindustanis against Teutons on this map. Deliberately didn't chop through. So I would expect Gajimata to force that and try and get those rhinos as soon as possible. But we could see a situation where neither player wants to get to the middle. And Gajimata is going to the woodline at the back.
We've never seen both players like fully ignore it thus far. We've seen a mix of timings. What Otto is doing here is he is not placing a lumber camp that's going to get him through to the middle early for the rhinos. He's placing a lumber camp that gives him a bit more wood, but will give him the cut through when he wants in Castle Age. Gajimata is not chopping the middle wood at all, and he's going to the outside, which is actually kind of what he had tried to do when he played in his first round. So, you know, a situation here where both players don't feel the rush to the middle to take rhinos, which is what's fun about this map. I think there's different ways to play it. There's enough food if you want to skip the rhinos, and there's enough gold if you don't want to take the gold in the middle.
You know, if you're thinking about civs that could actually be decent against Teutons in the late game, and there's not many of them, Saracens might be one, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the archers that are really, really solid, right? Potentially camels to deal with the paladin, and then also counterweight trebs to take out the crenellations castles. Really, really solid if you get there. Obviously, you'd need a massive eco, but still.
We saw hussars and heavy cav archer from Gajimata. I think a lot of people forget that Saracens get fully upgraded heavy cav archer because a lot of people tend to go for foot archers with them. But yeah, he went for mobile options. I think he was against the Lithuanians, and it looked really strong. Another thing about Gajimata was he played with Lycav, and he went for the outside map control to get relics. So I would expect Gajimata to do a similar thing here. And Otto the Great cannot get Lycav, cannot get Husbandry even on the scouts. So my thinking is Otto is expecting his opponent, because his opponent did this in the previous game, to cut to the middle, to take the rhinos, and to leave an opening for him. And so he's going to go fast castle. He's going to try and go pike siege in the middle. And he needs to make sure that he scouts this, Dave. Because if he just assumes and he gets to the middle with the pikes and the siege, there might be nothing to actually push when he gets there.
That would be an extremely MBL moment, wouldn't it?
Uh-huh.
He does it. He just like, oh, there'll be an opening. No, bro. There's absolutely nothing.
I mean, we laugh, but Emperor Sigismund, in one of his, in his only set, as he lost in the first round, he went Bohemians. He cut to the middle. He went hand cannons. Got to the middle, and then his opponent Khosrau hadn't chopped the trees. So he was all the way in the middle, looped that whole way around the outside, and by the time he got any pressure in, Khosrau had collected 5,000 more resources. Khosrau was ready for it. So it is definitely, an interesting aspect of the map. And I don't think we're at the point yet where players should know based on uptimes or anything what people are doing. Because on some maps, it's like, oh, well, he went fast feudal. Well, clearly it was X, Y, or Z. I don't think they know this yet.
Well, if we are going into both players booming, the Teutons should be favored, right? Economically, because of the cheap farms. Fantastic eco bonus. And we saw it displayed perfectly by Otto in his first round. The very first game they played on this map, even though his opponent was bringing in like 5 rhinos, I think he constantly had more res collected. And the farms being cheaper really, really helped with that. So he could spend less wood on those farms and get his food eco rolling before his opponent could.
Ooh. Gajimata thinks about going through here. Also dodges the TC shots like for 4 or 5 volleys and says, keep going. Keep trying it. But he's going to get through anyways. And he's actually going to get to spot what his opponent is doing. So he's going to see his opponent's in feudal in a second. He's then going to see the wood line. And he's going to realize his opponent hasn't cut through yet. So I think feudal age, no cut through. And also, he could see what buildings aren't there. It's kind of going to tell him Otto the Great is just going to go farm boom and adapt.
That scout is stuck a little bit, though. Like this, now that there's no hole in the wood line.
Yeah.
If he can't get by the TC, the scout is going to be stuck. So he won't be able to see if there's anything coming forward from Otto.
True. And actually, it might be an invitation for Otto to do so. Otto places some houses. He doesn't let the scout escape. That scout is just a hit away from death at this point. And yeah, you don't want to lose your scout here, Dave. Especially against Otto. Like, this guy snuck a villager to the back of Gajimata's base when his opponent had the scout. So that scout's going to run away. It's actually really unfortunate for Otto he hasn't killed it yet. It is kind of possible
that
Gajimata gets home here.
Unless there's some serious bumpage along the way, he's going to get it, right?
Okay.
Come on. Oh, they're huffing and puffing, man.
Just completely unrelated note. We are still searching for a new stats guy. If you are interested, please go to positionthatdoesnotexist.com to apply for stats for Hidden Go 5. Thank you very much. Didn't get it.
He didn't get the scout. Unbelievable. Even after the houses and everything, he didn't get the scout. Oh, my goodness. I mean, there is a stable behind this, so there's a second scout. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and now Otto the Great's going to have to go home. But, like, Otto the Great now knows his opponent out of the stable. He may consider that to be good. He's going to add a barracks now in a panic. But, 1 or 2 spears out there. And he is going to cut through to the middle soon. And he also knows his opponent doesn't have a lumber camp to cut through to the middle. That's really good, a really good find for Otto.
So do we see, the question now is, Otto satisfied with getting through to the middle himself? Because he knows he has a huge advantage. Does he go through the middle himself and add eco there? Or does he try and go for that pikeman siege push on the outside towards Gajimata?
I think you should be going to the outside because he doesn't have the inside available. And in theory, you could push the outside and then you can also expand your eco to the inside. But that is not that is like sitting here, chilling about it, casting it, and thinking about it. And I think it is possible to get tunnel vision sometimes and still feel like if you push the middle, it's a good thing for you. But yeah, realistically, dude, you got to go siege push. If you're going to siege push, that is in the south, I think.
Town Watch now coming in from Otto. Okay. And is he sending a villager forward for an outpost? I think so. So I think Otto is outposting that middle wood line from Gajimata. Yep. And he's just going to keep track of it. That's really good. That's really, really nice.
Also hides his market and his blacksmith. I don't know if you need to hide it, but does hide it so his opponent doesn't know he has it. This is just to double check because it doesn't take long. Like, just because Gajimata isn't chopping the wood right now doesn't mean that he can't do so later. It's always good to have vision, and you need to make sure you see every tile. And both players are going to be in Castle Age soon. Gajimata's up, and I'll tell you what, dude. Something that feels very natural right now for Gajimata against Teutons is Cav Archers. Oh my god. Why did we think...
Of course he is. Why wouldn't
we think that he would go to the outside when we could instead think that he's going to chop through the middle? Like, freaking Otto, man. It's like, it's smart, but also if Gajimata spots it, he could just wall behind. Let's see, is Gajimata ever going to make outposts here, Dave? He doesn't have the stone for outposts. Yo, Gajimata might never notice that this is going to happen.
No Town Watch. No outposts. No units there. I mean, the vision is immaculate for Gajimata. Look at the map. Dude, he's discovered everything except the place that he needs to look.
And you know what that does, too, is you're just like, oh, my God, I see everything. Okay, we got to check this spot. We're going to get the relics. We're going to boom. I'm against MBL. He doesn't practice. We're good. And then you're not going to expect the siege in the middle. He's going to be through, dude. Like, he needs to just click the tree. He's going to be through. He's going to be freaking through into his base. What in the world? And, like, this is... I assume Gajimata is going to be buying stone here to drop TCs. Curious to see where he drops the TCs. This will get very interesting because he's going to expand outwards. So this would be worse for him if he started to place a TC towards the middle, but obviously no reason to do this.
Is that scout coming back to get healed, or is that scout coming back to scout the middle? Looks like they're not.
Yeah, he's not going to check that.
That is the auto scout capability. That is the scout with auto scout. Might try and explore that area. And it's actually a town center, so he's not really forcing the chop through at the moment. Going for a town center. And now has to deal with the scouts at the back of his base. Scouts
are slow, as our stats guy reminds us. Light Cav upgrade is in. I mean, Gajimata, it feels like there's a theme, right? I actually think Gajimata's situation is stronger. It's just the surprise aspect. If Otto the Great actually chops through, I mean, he's making a TC there. But if he actually chops through, if he actually goes Pike Siege through the middle, then is where things get interesting.
Well, scouts are coming forward now from Otto through the middle. And there's going to be a knight there. And it looks like there's going to be a siege workshop. Monastery doesn't know that he has plenty of room to, build without being discovered. But he's not taking any chances on the vision.
Can we talk about Gajimata's TC spots? They're really interesting. He's placed them on stone, but also the hunt and the berries.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Like, both areas have extra sources of food. A lot of players would just place it on a wood line or a stone or a gold. I don't mind it. It's definitely unique. And here comes the push out of nowhere. Now Otto the Great does have some villagers exposed outside of his walls at home because he's got that wood line. Honestly, I prefer you see just wall in the villagers, but I guess you could always over chop. But it's MBL,
all you'd have
he's just going to make more spears.
Yeah, all you have to do to show me that this is MBL is a screenshot of that lumber camp over there with 5 spearmen waiting near it.
Yep, a couple.
Like, I don't need to see anything else. That's it.
Yep, exactly. I mean, I knew in the first game when I casted him, I knew it was MBL. I knew it from the amount of spearmen he made in game number 1 earlier on in the week. This is just MBL. Now, we saw a sneak in the previous game, and we felt like maybe he showed his hand too early. When do you show this? Because if you show this at 4 mangonels, that TC's gone.
I think 2 mangonels. 2 mangonels, 3 monks.
Yeah.
He's coming in. Hello.
Oh, I love it, dude. Like, I appreciate how well optimized the best players can be in this game and how impressive it is. But I really wish we could replicate this guy. Just make more of him or something. Like, the way he plays this game, Otto the Great, is so freaking unique and fun.
Hi.
And there he is. He hits the gold. The scouts are there. And Gajamada's like, huh? What?
He
and now we're going to see a tower. Honestly, didn't kill that much.
No, but Gajimata is sitting here like, oh, not this again. Like, I just had to deal with this last game. Here we go. He does have a monk, and he's getting redemption. Now he has the town center to hop in and out of with the monks. So the mangonels were not attacking the town center on time, potentially. The scouts didn't get as much value, but still, that tower behind is going to help against those monks.
You know, you got to think, if this is a surprise, could the tower have been more forward here, right? Could there have been spearmen with the monks initially? Because, you know, we saw 2 monks go down, the one light cav. He only killed 1 villager here, Otto. Does lose the mangonel now as well. Now, redemption is going to be in for Gajimata, which means he can convert siege, but Teutons resist conversion. So it will take a lot longer. But this brings me back to that tower. I think you need another one. And he might buy the stone if he has a market, just to place this in a position which makes it more awkward for the monks to get any conversions here.
Yeah, he goes for another town center. So this is now a delaying tactic from him. Trying to nuke the eco a little bit from your opponent, trying to get your own eco sorted behind. Still has a decent economy himself, but I mean, the villager numbers are better at the moment. That's a great attack round.
And now Gajimata has to respect that threat every single time he chooses to dive in. Now, the monks are going to heal up the weak ones. You know what is actually incredible for Gajimata? Those TCs on food, the zebra, the berries, in these moments when you lose your farms, actually really helpful.
Huge.
So had he not done that, I think he would be struggling a bit more for Vil production.
Fletching's in, and he goes for 1 shot. He can clear up the monk. Can he clear up this one? The tower's not attacking, dude. The tower's like going after the house or something, or the camels.
This is fine. Okay, so 2 monks went down. Spearmen there, monks there. Nice conversion there from Gajimata. Light cav. I mean, this gets real messy now. Really easy to lose your units quickly. And Gajimata says, you know what? I'm never defending this. I have to make sure this can't get worse for me. And he's going to drop a castle there. Now, Dave,
the food eco still the really isn't series, there for Gajimata.
Yeah, so the first series for Otto the Great, he forced his opponent into a defensive castle. And he went Imperial Age, he went for his own castle, and then he went for Fastim Trebs. But neither player really has the food eco to be able to justify that from what I'm seeing right now. I could be wrong, but it seems like right now Otto the Great's just going to continue to siege and monk push more than anything.
Well, he really disrupted the boom from Gajimata. I know you're not going to be like thinking that initially, but look at the amount of idle TC time here from Gajimata. It's 9 minutes. Now we have 4 town centers, but that adds up really, really quickly. And especially the fact that he took him off so many of those farms. And now suddenly the hunt that was underneath the other TCs is expiring. So you have to go for more farms behind that. It's a really, really nice disruption to the smooth flow of the game that was the opening for Gajimata. And now Otto can start getting his eco set up behind, and it's only a 6 villager difference at the moment.
Otto researching Atonement a moment ago, so now he can convert his opponent's monks. Now this push really is going to get serious because the light cav can't address anything here because of the spears. The monks can't address the siege because of the enemy monks. And if we think this is a player who's good with monks, which many of us do with Otto, you got to imagine he's not going to allow this to have any success. He's going to kill that monk. Yeah, that TC's gone, Dave. And actually, if we see redemption, Otto the Great could then convert buildings from his opponent too here in a moment. But Gajimata is going to do the same. And, you know, there's a lot happening at the moment. Both players could take losses. We have a tower from Otto, and we have the spearman in defense. And yeah, he holds. I think that's fine.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff. Lots of spearmen. Still not even the pikeman upgrade. Just spearmen at the moment, which is okay, I guess. You don't want him to be converted, I suppose. The tower is going to stop that push, and the monks are still dying here from Gajimata. And finally goes for Sanctity. Sanctity was very delayed in this game.
what did you say? You said if this is MBL, he just sucks you into his type of game, right? He turns it into something so different from your prepped sessions, your practice sessions. Now, Otto's push has stalled a little bit here because of the great defense from Gajimata, but the push is still here protecting the middle. And even though there is gold on the outside, even though there's relics, we cannot ignore the fact that there is tens of thousands of gold in the middle right now.
Yep, conversion trying to come in here from our Saracens player, but doesn't get it, and the monk gets converted again. However, Gajimata still pushing in the south, and Otto is going to have to divide his attention in two different spots. Same can be said about Gaja, though, because has to be worried still about that mangonel push through the middle.
Wow, really sick job. I mean, how can you counterattack when you're trying to defend from a push like this? That's so impressive. And the TC is still up, by the way. And he's also imping. Gajimata's resilience has been insane. Now, Otto's not realizing, and he loses one of his mangonels. He could easily lose the second if he's not careful. And he is going to end up losing the second. Anyways, he's going to try and convert it back. Gajimata should delete. Gajimata doesn't delete. All is fair again. And again, it's messy stuff, guys, but Gajimata is on the way to the Imperial Age.
103 villagers. Otto overtook the Vill lead. Eco upgrade still not fantastic for either player, but that's the forward castle there that we've been wanting from Otto. Unfortunately, the imp timing is just simply not in his favor.
Yeah. Wow. I think the Saracen market, if we can get a page up from Mapu at some point, I think the Saracen market has actually helped a lot here for Gajimata as well. He's leaned on that market if he needs it. He's also dropping a castle here. And Gajimata, who's right now 2-1 up, could possibly treb MBL's base. Otto's base. Take the TC, which is going imp. And also use trebuchets defensively to take down this forward castle.
It's fine. He'll just make 2 more TCs. One right there, and then one in the middle, which Gajimata has still not even seen, right? He hasn't even been in this middle area.
Yep. Look at the upgrades coming in for Gajimata as well. Gajimata mixing into Cav Archers now, like we said he did in the first round. He's going to send villagers around that way. We might see another castle soon. Remember, in order to mine stone, you need the outside on this map, which Gajimata has had. Treb from the front, Dave. And then Treb from defense for Gajimata. And Gajimata pulling further and further ahead. Somehow, I'm really worried that Otto the Great could maybe lose his TC. I know it's a long shot, but he might not notice it. And if that Treb goes for the imp TC, it could see there being some problems.
I mean, he's still got a minute. I think he can survive with that. This town center will not survive for very much longer, I think. The Mangonels have been working away on that forever. The Cav Archers now being pushed away by some knights, but Otto needs to make sure that all of the economy is shifted into the middle area now. But Gajimata has cut in the north. He's cut into the middle. He's cut into the middle in the north. And there's a castle coming up.
What? That's sick. He cut into the middle, and now he's going to be on the other side. And no, Otto did not expect this. And he doesn't really have the army to stop it. Those knights might know about it, but they're too slow. They're not going to get there in time. So Gajimata is trebbing from both sides. He's going to have a castle in the middle. And Otto the Great is falling apart right now. Crazy.
Absolutely falling apart. Just didn't get the damage he wanted with that push. And credit to Gajimata for constantly raiding on the sides and keeping his attention elsewhere. Other than pushing that main town center, pushing the main area of his eco. Beautiful play, just splitting things around. But Otto will go for a defensive castle over here, and Otto will be able to deny that gold.
Yeah, I mean, usually right now you're thinking like stall out, build reinforcements in the middle, and then expand your eco at home. The problem for Otto is that his home is in the middle. Right? He doesn't have like much of a starting eco to work with. Any eco he has out there seems to be getting raided. I mean, I do not understand how Gajimata is alive. Otto the Great has played amazing. He's made so much army. He's had so much pressure. He's had so many techs. Gajimata is playing out of this world. And he thinks if he can just get a big, sizable, massive CA, that's his win condition now. Cav Archers wins you this matchup You just need to take the castles out of the picture from Out of the Great, and then Cav Archers rule the world.
And out of stone now. Might lose both castles. The stone is gone. The stone is gone. You have 41 on gold. Maybe you can buy some, but that castle goes down. Your foothold in the enemy base is gone, and this castle is about to be trebbed down pretty soon unless you can take out the castle from Gajimata. You still have to worry about the army at the back, right? The random monks, the random camels, the random spearmen that have been harassing you the entire time.
Yeah, and it's to continue on to my previous point. It's like Gajimata has always had an answer. In the last game, he was surprised. In this game, he was surprised. There he loses a mangonel to a Treb because it's auto. But he's still going to have an answer. He might actually convert the Treb. Yeah, he can convert the Trebuchet, which would be a power play move, and auto has to delete it. You know, the Cav Archers are just too strong at this point for a player who doesn't have Cavalier, for a player who doesn't have upgrades.
Oh my god, again.
And again.
Don't let him convert it. Just don't. No.
It's a
okay.
Okay, well, he converted the monk.
Dude, there goes the monks. Okay, so he's denying the potential for the Saracens to get their Castle Age unique technology. Never mind. I take it back. They're getting it. The Barista Man, or whatever it's called. Barista Man.
Barista. It's his part-time job, though. It's not his full-time job. Cav Archer's still moving forward. The TC's almost down. It's desperation for Otto. He just wants to trap down the castles. And these Cav Archers are going to be enough. The Knights are going down. There are bomber cannons for Otto. Now he's taking out the Trebs. This is extremely chaotic, but it's 3 on wood, it's 30 on food, and it's like 80 on gold for Otto, and all that gold is right here in the middle.
Oh my god, man. He calls the GG. I mean, what an effort there. Otto had such a great idea. I think the thing that killed Otto was the commitment onto the scouts and light cav from Gajimata, kept the pressure at the back, couldn't have his full attention forward, and Otto, really importantly, couldn't wall his main base. If he walls his main base, none of those units get in. But the light cav and the scouts were there the entire time, so there's no potential of doing that. Can't focus in the middle, can't get his eco rolling, slower to imp, and it's just a disaster.
Yeah, really hard for me to say there's too much at fault on Otto just because Gajimata asked all the right questions. He said, I'm going to control the outside. Then he got shocked in the middle, and so many people prioritize everything on the middle, and they don't focus on the outer areas. He focused on the outer areas, and that is why the Monk micro, as you said, and the Siege push didn't do all that well. Like, reminder that Gajimata's starting TC, which got surprised by Siege, didn't go down until he was an imp. Reminder that Gajimata went monks with redemption against Teutons and actually ended up holding and actually ended up defending that. Like, that's not normal. And so I'm having the same feelings about Gajimata that I had after I watched him beat Gregory the 7th 4-0 in the first round. And it's that this player is one of the favorites to win all of Hidden Cup. He is so versatile. He could play any map. And, well, now poor Otto is going to have to find a game plan against him. And Otto, looking for some momentum here, does go for his final home map. He's down 3-1 against this crazy Gajimata. We've got Gajimata, who's gone for the Poles, and we have Otto the Great, who's gone for the Magyars, Dave.
Now, is the lane coming in right away? That's the question. A lot of the times, your opponent's going to be scouting with the Water Buffalo, and you can snag them. And even getting one Water Buffalo on this map is super valuable because food is definitely an issue once you're done with the fish and the elephants early.
Yeah, elephants will be on the backside. So if you were to try and steal your opponent's elephants, that's going to be trickier. Right now, Otto actually hasn't found his Water Buffalo. Oh, no. Actually, no, he's not scouting with them. He has them underneath his TC right now. Yeah, so he's not even taking the risk, which is interesting. But yeah, I'm not seeing any heavy laming attempts. What this map really turns into is how well can you place your farms and how... where do you place your farms? And the Poles, not a pick we saw a lot in the qualifier, but if this becomes a heavy farming game, a really nice civ potentially to have here. But at the same time, I think it's going to be awkward to play as the Poles. The full works are not going to be in great positions to farm around. each one, and I love the Magyar extra attack that they'll have on their spearmen and their scouts.
I think one of the things you can do with the poles, though, because there's no gold in the center, but there is stone in the center. If you're
True.
on a wood line and some stone in that center area there, if you manage to wall yourself in, like we've seen a lot of players do, you can get a little trickle of gold, right? You
No
can
way.
make defensive towers, and then you can go for a full work with the farms. No, Gajamata is not the guy that's going to lame that elephant, dude.
Yeah.
Otto is going to lame the elephant. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, if he were to try that against Otto would never let him take that home.
Yeah, and he knows exactly who he's playing against too. Like you, MBL will lame you, but also makes it very difficult for you to lame him. Like he will not let that thing go.
So, as a reminder, after every round, the players, win or lose, tell the admins of the tournament who they think they played against. So at the end, when we reveal everything, at the end of Hidden Cup 5, we're going to have who the players thought they played every round, who the viewers thought each identity was, and then, of course, their actual identities. It's always really fun. But I think in this case, Gajamata is going to know. But some of the other ones, I'm really curious. Hidden Cup 4 was the least accurate player guesses about their opponents ever. And at least from our perspective so far, from watching, to me, this is harder to guess than any Hidden Cup. So I'm wondering if the players will feel the same, or maybe they are picking up on details that we can't see.
Gajamata also saw that lumber camp position from Otto the Great. So if this is Tato, he now has a destination for the demos.
Yeah, true.
And I suspect that our just misses that water buffalo. That could have actually been really valuable. I suspect that the Polish game plan is going to involve a lot of towers and then maybe docks added in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's decent enough for just the farms, but there are too many temptations to take the stone, drop the towers, get some gold from the stone mining. So little interesting fact here. So yeah, I agree. For everyone's Tato guess, Tato is the best with demo ships. I played a video on that earlier. So if it is him, we will see him try and sneak it in at some point. But also, Tato's one of the few players that actually picked poles. I think twice on his drafts in the qualifiers. I remember him playing them on Gold Rush. So he is a player who's comfortable with poles. But honestly, another guest that people have been thinking, Mr. Yo and ACCM, both those players also big fan of the Civilization poles. So I'm not really sure that poles helps narrow too much down.
Feudal Age on the way. Both 18 populations, so really, really quick. And Gajamata has gone pretty aggressive with that wall forward. Otto's going to see that. Won't be able to deny it, though. He's not in Feudal Age yet. And now Otto will find the wood line from Gajamata.
Okay, so if you can wall in a way where demos and scouts can't get into your wood line, that would be ideal. I think just like a circular wall around your wood line is the safe way to do it. But I could see Gajamata going for almost a full wall because it's only the blue terrain where the water can be utilized.
It's also a tough wood line for Otto to tower, the way that Gajamata has walled it. And I could see Otto trying to go for a spearman or maybe a forward tower to supplement that. He's actually going for a stable here. And he's stolen the water buffalo. He has taken it. It's on the move.
Little bit of revenge for game number 2. I mean, when you think MBL, you think Master Boar Lamer. He hasn't stolen much, but that water buffalo is going to be sent off into the distance. Nice find there from Otto. Keep in mind, the Magyars do not have an eco bonus. And the Poles have the amazing farms. So not only that, they get some gold when they mine stone. Poles are way better in a game where villagers haven't been killed and in a game where they can just sit back and relax. So Otto needs to make it messy here. This is what we talked about. This is huge to prevent any demos. But here comes some spears and here comes some scouts from Otto.
And scouts as well from Gajamata. And there's the horse collar upgrade. So spending all his food on that, can't make scouts out of that stable. He can't afford it. Needs to wait for the farms to come up. And this is the difficulty of Mudflow, right? Once you run out of that food underneath your town center, you can't farm around it immediately. You have to go out to the berries, which are a little bit slower. And then you have to get horse collar. And now you're just dropping the farms. But that opens the window for Otto to get the early aggression. Maybe get some villager picks really, really early here.
There are so many times on this map where you're trying to drop a farm, you're trying to make a Vil, a spear, and a scout, and usually something's going to give there, and you don't have the resources to add one or two of those things. I think getting that bit of a food boost from poles on their farms, that's going to feel really nice. That could be a nice injection of food eco to allow you to keep more production going. Right now, though, you can see you can't really fit farms around the entirety of the full work because of the positioning of the berries and everything else. But good hits there from that spearman from Gajimata. This is not good. Not good at all here for Otto. Oh, my God. Every scout got hit by that single spearman.
I think that spear missed like 2 of the animations on the attack, too. So I think it could have even gotten more value than it did. But the nonstop spearman production coming forward from Otto, and he's going to count on his spearman to deal with the spearman from the opponent. He is Magyars. He has forging. So we will have the advantage there. And the spearmen with forging are actually a threat to the villagers as well. So Gajimata really needs to respect this, and Otto is hanging out near the full work placement from Gajimata, so placing more farms around there is going to be really difficult. I don't even know if he can fit another farm around that one.
Yeah, agreed. And then the other berries is also denied. This is the thinking from Otto. He says, as long as I keep a lot of presence here all the time, I should be in a good spot. And Gajimata's thinking, I just need to play defense because I'm poles, but that villager is going to most likely die. She hasn't died yet. Actually, the spears for Gajimata has done a really nice job with. Here's just a little question. Do you go for a... Oh, God. Wait, there's a dock. But do you go
forward
for
archer
forging
range
yourself
nice.
If you're Gaja? Like try and even up the attack with your scouts and your spears?
I don't think you have the food eco, dude. I think you just need to keep getting units out there. And there's a demo from the dock. Otto has seen that dock, and Otto walled in the wood line before, but it's still going to be really, really tricky because now you have to watch where your spearmen are going because he could get a really solid demo against your spears.
Also, he made the archer range on the amphibious terrain. So you got to be careful with your archers as well. Also, the demo can definitely get in there next to that tree and kill villagers from the other side. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. There hasn't been a whole lot of scout production here from Gajimata to speak of. The demo is going to be on the move. Now, again, one player is known for this. Everyone should know the possibility, but I see a second one in queue. And there goes the demo here from Gajimata. Now, if this is overchopped, there's a hole!
Sacrifice yourself.
Oh my God. And Gajimata's like, yo, that was actually really good for Otto the Great. That could have been so much worse for him. What a play. He could have lost 5 bills. Instead, he just loses 1.
Yeah, and I think Gajimata looked away at that moment because he was trying to defend against this stuff. Yep. One villager, one spearman going down. It's like Otto's like, take it, fine, take it. I don't care, dude. Wow.
Yeah, dude, that could have been so much worse. Like demos are not the cheapest, so you do want them to kill more than 1 unit, ideally. And look at Otto the Great. Otto the Great wandering forward with his Vils. His scouts got through. His archers and skirms, well, it's mainly skirms and spears, are not going to have any support here, but he is going to try and just hold some map. He knows the threat of the poles if the poles get to relax here.
Well, look at what he's doing with that tower, right? He's denying the potential for the farms around the full work, which is great. So the food eco is still disaster for Gajimata. 5 on food. And now he has to cancel some Vils to make fletching. He can only make 1 scout. He's got another demo in the dock, and that demo being Garrison in there tells me it still might be Tato.
But Dave, I mean,
as he takes out
Gajimata is just getting massacred here. The scouts showed up. The skirms and the spears have definitely chipped away at these Vils. And even though the tower might get battered down, this whole sequence has led to quite a nice eco for Otto the Great. I am concerned that he only has 5 on food, according to Capture Age. And I am concerned there's also a demo on the way, but he kills another villager. Another villager. 9-1 eco KD.
Man, and look at the farming eco being expanded back there. There's a galley and a demo on the side. Now, Gajimata got in with the demo. He didn't expect the overchop from the other side the last time. He might get in again, and the galley might push the villagers out of position so the demo can squeak in there. But there's more scouts coming forward from Otto. It's all land pressure for Otto. We've got the Navy mixed in from Gajimata. Right now, it looks like advantage Otto. 10 eco ahead.
for now, but I think there might still be holes here. But Otto the Great expects it, and he's going to drop houses everywhere. There's still a hole from before!
It's the same hole!
No!
Okay,
Again?
I don't know if that's tattooing. He would have got a better
Could have
demo
been
than
worse.
that, I think.
Could have been worse, but Dave, the galley's going to kill the rest of them, right? And here we've got villagers going down. So the galley's getting some kills there. Here, though, the tower might not go up because we've got archers, because we've got skirms. The craziness continues, and Otto the Great is back on wood. He walls on his tower. He's denying this tower, and Otto the Great is massacring Gajimata on land. And so far, Gajimata has only shown defensive towers, defensive spears, and demos.
Yeah, and now the scouts can make their way over to this tower because the villagers are still attacking that. And remember, these are Magyar scouts. They have forging throughout this entire process, right? Forging has been huge. The demos have found some value, but not enough here. The Eco KD is 10-4, and the scouts are coming back towards that tower. But look at the wall in there from Gajimata. There's still a palisade there from Otto. He can delete it. Is the hole still there? No.
Okay, so I didn't see the hole the previous 2 times. I just knew the unit went through. The demos, obviously he's distracted. The demos have been wasted right now, and Otto the Great knows to pay attention. Very nice job from Otto. And Res Collected, Dave, is finally climbing ahead here for the Magyar player, who, again, has 0 eco bonuses to work with. Demo kills another Vill from the other side. But more villagers getting slaughtered. I'm with you. This is all Otto the Great right now.
I mean, Otto did a wonderful job as we see that tree being overchopped. That might be a concern. He did a wonderful job walling up that wood line and making sure it was secure. I know that there were a few holes, right?
Uh-oh.
And
he's going through.
He lost some Vills, but the damage control is there.
And he's through, Dave. He walks right past it. He says, that tower on the right side is not enough for you. He gets to the gold. This is a new full-work that was added for safe farms because the other one couldn't be used. And Fletching's in at this point. It wasn't in before. There also weren't archers in before. So maybe the tower goes up, but it feels like this is just so messy for Gajimata right now.
He has had to pay for this farming space with blood, sweat, and tears. Like, Otto is not giving him the space to go for those full works with the farms around them. And the food eco has been a disaster. And look at Otto's resources here, Tristan. He's about to click up to Castle Age. Gajimata is really far behind.
Unless Otto the Great continues to ignore the water threat. Like, I think you can only do this little game so far without adding your own fire galleys for so long. I am concerned. Like, if a demo hits that wood line and kills 12 Vills, I've seen crazier comebacks. Now, I look at the resources for Gajimata. I look at the fact these villagers are exposed, and the tower's still going to stay up, and I think twice about what I just said. But there's still going to be navies surrounding these vills, dude.
Okay, a tower. It's like, dude, I mean, you can only make so many houses, you know? At least he won't be housed.
He needs something. Like, finally. There's going to be a demo. That demo might kill the spearman. Boom. We've had some nice highlights here. And those villagers are a little bit more protected. And of course, like, is Otto going to make a defensive stable and just expand his eco and boom? No, of course not, dude. He's going to make a forward stable because this is Otto the freaking great, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. And just make sure that Barracks is constantly spamming spearmen back because that's the risk now. The demos were the risk on the wood line. You can hide in that tower. It might push Gajimata away from making more demos unless there's a hole there, unless the villagers open the gate. Or if he sneaks up beside those 2 trees, he could find some damage, potentially. Oh, wait for it. Wait for the Vill to open this.
Actually, you could just still kill 2. Okay, it'll be back for more. Oh, wait, here he goes. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, the tower got it. Ooh,
let's go tower, people.
Clutch.
There's a sniper in there, bro.
TC goes up for Otto. Otto's in the next stage. Otto's making knights. Gajimata has not clicked up to the next stage yet. And in Castle Age, Otto the Great, in messy games, seems to excel. Obviously, the previous game, he did end up losing. That game ended up going to Imp, but this is open. This is like that Arabia game we saw. Only in the Arabia game, Otto the Great was 30 Vills behind and won. Now he's going to have a significant eco lead. And the Knights are just, I mean, this is Magyar Knights. This is brutal.
With iron casting already, it's just so rough. Like the spearmen taking uphill hits against that. The knight's just gonna go 1v2, and then it can work away on the villagers. That TC being denied is very annoying for the moment, but it feels like these knights and that spearman can do enough to clear it up against the fires. And the town center will go up, and Otto will just keep streaming in knights to the economy from Gajimata, who's only now about to click up to the next stage.
Archers also slid underneath that tower, killed some units. Those archers have gotten a crazy value. The eco KD is now up to 23 eco killed here from Otto the Great. 2 minutes away from the next stage. I mean, again, back to player guesses. At this point, this is bad for Gajimata. He's getting brutalized on water, on land. He's still fighting. So, 70% of the community thought Gajimata was Tato. But we hadn't seen Yo voted at all, ever. He's known for being a fighter. And then ACCM.
Nikov.
He's also a player that Nikov said he's 100% certain that Gajimata is ACCM. And he said that Gajimata 4-0'd Tato. So, I mean, that would be pretty ridiculous if Nikov was correct on that. But I'm just saying, think about it.
Otto should make a forward dock in the pond from Gajimata.
Yeah, I agree.
Thoughts?
I think...
Get out of my game!
Honestly, it wouldn't even be a flex at this point. It would actually be quite smart. Make a couple fires there. What's he going to do about it? Make 3 fires and make a demo.
The knights are coming in, man. He goes for a stone gate behind there. He's going to have to hope that there's no overchops or anything in that wood line, because if those knights get in, it's a disaster. Still more demos coming out. Gets a good demo against the knights.
Tato confirmed again. Gotta love how that goes back and forth there.
It's only 23 vills behind.
57 vills against 33. Make it 32. I will say, players, when they get this big of a lead on this map, I think we need to see docks. And it'll be interesting to see how the meta progresses here, because we did have that one game against King Stephen and Salim the Grim that we covered where there was like 50 ships from both of them throughout the game. But I think this play of like scouts and like no dock eventually is going to change, and Otto the Great needs to invest into some navy here.
I mean, Otto's going to go for a castle, right? And the only question is, where is this castle going? As I see another villager body underneath the woodline, so maybe something else died there. Eco KD is 27-9.
Yeah.
And there's still blue dots absolutely everywhere. Now, 452 stone. So still 200 away, but forward castle could be a potential.
Am I seeing a wall in Otto's base? It's a very weird thing on the minimap right now. Just like a random line towards the north there. What?
What?
What is that intentional? I mean, there's so much exposed. To place a wall there feels a little bit out of place. Almost like it was a misclick and he doesn't realize it's happening. There's a demo. And I'm with you. I think we'll eventually see a castle possibly for Otto. Now we've got to have a tower. That tower might happen, though. We might see the walls around it. But at this point, like 39 vills for 72, Otto's just expanding his eco. He doesn't have to do anything. Like, yeah, he could go for the kill and kill this guy. But realistically, like he needs to, the opponent needs to be killing him, or this game's going to be over in late Castle Age or early Imp. And we're seeing it here. The knights come in.
Yeah, you can't stop the knights. You just can't stop the knights. And now all the vills are running.
Yeah, there's one tower there. So you're abandoning 10 farms, your gold. Yeah. Dude. ACCM or Yo here? Not resigning, not calling it. Big moment. I think that we as a community love to say when someone else should quit when they're in like a really intense moment in their careers, which I think is maybe a bad thing. But, as I'm going to continue to do that bad thing, Otto the Great is super far ahead right now. And Gajimata struggling, but continuing to fight on.
I think from Gajimata's perspective, it's kind of like Otto is trying to do so many things right now. Sometimes you can get lost in that, right? And not add eco and focus on what you need to do. So if you have demo potential, if you have potential of them coming forward for a castle that you could potentially deny, then maybe you stay in rather than someone who's just sitting back, defending themselves and massing up an army. Otto's not really doing that. He's sending everything in piecemeal.
Otto's not showing the 40 villager lead that we see. He's just going in with a couple knights here or there. Of course, behind it, his lead continues to grow. He also has a lot of eco in areas that can be demoed, which Gajimata continues to try. So, you know, if there was ever a map where you could come back in vills, like there, he demoed a couple vills.
Like, why are you towering this? Bro, just go for a castle there. What?
Dude,
why?
How dare you? How dare you? How dare we question Otto the Great? Is it Dave the Great? Is it T90 the Great? Nope, it's not. So I think we should just keep letting him do his thing, even though sometimes it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I kind of want the helmet, though.
Yeah, dude. Good luck casting. You're gonna see the center of the screen. You're not gonna see. If you wear Otto's helmet, you're not gonna see like the stats at the top or the chat at the bottom. It's just gonna be.
Oh, I'd had some serious neck pain. I need a chiropractor after casting with that.
Well, let's be honest. If Otto the Great truly rides out into battle with his men, he rides out, and then when they encounter the enemy, he turns around, takes the helmet off, and then goes and chills, you know, and drinks some wine or something. There's no way that guy's going out in that thing.
He doesn't do forests or low-hanging branches. It just simply doesn't happen. It has to be a clear or medieval doors as well. They're notoriously short. He doesn't do those. That's for sure.
Yeah, true. So basically, he doesn't do much of anything. And wow, what a game. Otto the Great, helmet or no helmet, dominates there. And, you know, that was a really tricky matchup. Like, I know that Otto the Great got a really nice lead there, but that was a complicated matchup. The walls came down early for Gajimata, and it was difficult for Otto to find the area to attack. And he ended up thinking that if he towered the full work area and kept the pressure there and mixed in archers, that it would work. And I got to tell you, man, like a big moment in my mind that I come back to is the first demo, because we all know the first demo is usually the best demo because it's the one that surprises you. And Otto's quick wall to make what could have been a 5 or 6 villager loss when they were at like 30 end up being a 1 villager loss was massive in this game. It was so good.
It's evacuation.
What in the world? Okay, so it's evacuation. Now, we were thinking a bit about this, and we were thinking, what civ would Otto the Great go for? Now, he picked Japanese first. I assumed it would be Japanese here. He goes for Gurjaras. Now, something about this map, which we never really focus on much, is not those resources there, but it's the amount of additional cows that are out there. So Slam in his cast with me the other day said, T90, have we seen anyone go Gurjaras here? We're seeing an instant mill from Otto the Great on the outside berries, and he's going to send all the cows there.
Bro, the cows are so bad. It's so overrated, this generation. It's so over. I had 54 cows once, and it was the equivalent of having like 2 farms. It couldn't even keep my TC running. It's so bad.
But
and it denies you from going for the dock early. It's terrible.
Yeah,
dude.
Okay. Listen, I get it's terrible, and I should remind the people that last time Otto the Great played this map, he completely neglected the water, and then he struggled and he lost. However, I think Otto the Great needs belief, and Otto the Great, notoriously underprepared, probably doesn't know how it really doesn't add up all that much if you go for multiple mills with the Gurjaras and you have tons of food there. So maybe if he believes that this food income is insane, maybe it does something. Or it switches up the meta. Maybe Gajimata goes for water, expecting fish, and there's going to be no fish at all.
Yeah, I mean, if you go for the full land approach, you can hit them when they extend outwards, maybe for that lumber camp on the main area. But the food income from the cows alone is not going to be that much. You can see how slowly that's ticking up, and it's not comparable to having a fish economy.
Yeah. Now, what is the big issue on this map? And expanding is a big issue on this map. So I wonder if Otto's even going to chop wood over there instead of at the start. Now, Gajimada's got mule carts. So he, as he sees the mill now, he's like, huh? You know, the mule carts for the Georgians are really strong here because the kind of crappy wood lines that you have on the starting area aren't that big a deal when you can wheel around with said mule cart. But Dave, let me ask you this. So obviously the Gurjara's probably not a civ. A lot of other players have played on this map, and maybe Gajimada never faced it in practice. How much of a threat is that to you? When you scout that this early, what are you adjusting in your game plan if you're Gajimada?
So, number one, you know there's not going to be any water pressure because he's invested into that mill, and that's 100 food that's taken away from the dock, right? So, number one, you can feel a little bit of safety on your fishing ships. Now, the real mix-up from Otto would be going for that mill. If you know your opponent scouted that, then you go for like a dock on like the left side of this main island in that river area, and you pressure water. That would be extremely unexpected for Gajimada. But at the same time, if you're not expecting water from Gajimada's perspective, then you go into land units immediately and you avoid the risky plays like going up for this wood line too early. So maybe then you can pressure. It's all about back and forth, right? It's a game of checkers here.
Yeah, which is kind of what this map was meant to be designed around. Is obviously there's a big positive if you take that outer food and outer wood, but you have to walk a long way for that. You're exposed out there. You're safer next to your TC, but then you just don't have as much to work with. Yeah, so I think the best strategies I've seen on this map have been a combination of making water and land units. The best thing to do usually is to send quite a bit onto wood and also quite a bit onto gold. And you can use both those resources then to make archers and also ships. But if you're Otto, I think Otto's whole game plan is going to be around killing any of the vills that leave this area. His scout was there. His own villagers are out here. It would not surprise me at all if this is just like a scout archer all in from Otto. He says, have your fishing ships, but I'm going to kill those villagers there.
And he missed the vills. He missed the vills. He finds the cow over there and he's going to send it back.
Yeah.
And he will potentially lose that cow. No, great job from Gajimada to push those villagers back that way instead of retaking the cow. So that Otto still thinks that Gajimada is on this center area.
Well, it's probably going to be scouts here for Otto the Great. Where does he make the stable here? We saw Vasco da Gama wall from his starting TC to the edge, so units couldn't easily go through his crossing. And I could see why players are going to do that more and more now. Because Otto the Great can basically use the stable from there to go anywhere now. He can have his choice. He can go for the starting locations where you've got the gold and the wood, or he could make his way to the other area where Gajimada has a mule cart and some villagers right now.
Okay, so Feudal Age is in, one fire galley only, and only one dock from Gajimada. He has explored the rest of the shoreline if you look at his vision. Gajimada knows that there's no dock here from Otto.
That's
he
really
only
smart.
Suspected before. So he's not going to invest too much on that. And he actually might go for additional fishing ships too. So his eco, if he's left alone, will be continuously expanding way more than Otto's will. And he's already ahead on res collected. There's a reason for that. It's the fish.
Yeah, mule carts, efficiency, but also just having fish. And it's additional workers, right? They have the same amount of vills, but Gajimada also integrated some fish. And if you're up against scouts, you could use spears in defense. The barracks is on the way. I think Otto noticed that wood line there. This timing is critical for Otto. I love this. I think that eco is underrated right now. He's going to add the range too. I think Otto basically has... Maybe he doesn't think the vills are there anymore, but Otto is just playing towards his strengths. In this case, I think his strengths don't necessarily play towards the focus of the map in multitasking on water and land.
Otto should realize there aren't enough villagers on wood back here to do what Gajimada is doing. Like the barracks, all the upgrades, the fire ship as well. He didn't track those villagers coming out to the mainland, but they're out there. And I think he should realize that really soon and start pressuring that area.
Also, Gajimada, If you know your opponent doesn't have a dock, obviously adding more fishing ships is huge. But you know what else you can do is sit a demo on those crossings. He did it in his game in round 1. We saw how many demos he made in the previous game. I think we're a moment away from a demo or something sitting on either crossing, either the crossing that Otto has to his outer resources, or even better, maybe having a demo waiting if Otto the Great tries to go kill your outer villagers.
See, I think Otto should go for a dock in that river area. He should sneak one. I mean, the fire is coming out now, but at some point, if he has excess wood, dock over there in a demo to sneak up on Gajimata, because Gajimata will not expect it at all. He scouted everything.
This is where that fire can get really useful, because these units are going to see your tower and they're going to naturally pass through there, and they're going to go to the north most likely. Now there's the dock you're asking for. Pathing is kind of screwing over Otto, but he's going to make it anyways.
But he's going to find it with the fire.
The thing is, though, Dave, is there's no fish on the middle river. So I think if you're going to dock, you might want to dock the other side so you're at least close to the fish. But I could see the sneaky aspect of that location. Has been spotted, though. Res collected ahead for Gaja, but not as far ahead as I would have expected, considering there's been 6 fishing ships out there. And here comes the army. There is a preemptive tower from Gajimata. But still, I'd like to see Otto... Yeah, just kill the hunt if you can. Ooh, nice counterattack from Gajimata. Deer are killed. I can tell Dave is emotionally invested in this one, as are we all right now. We would all love a 7th game. The 7th game would be epic with this series. It seems like Gajimata has the lead. Look at that, taking the boar before it gets killed off. And he's got a counterattack. There is a tower for Otto. So he should be safe in some areas, but of course the tower doesn't protect everything. There's a tower for him now. And he just sees that this is happening,
the archers
but he jumps on the archers.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff. I mean, there's still that fire galley, but then you have to be worried about the fire galley's potential from Otto.
Yeah.
So really nice defensive dock there from Otto, still controlling the wood eco and the food eco a little bit on that side, and still has the scouts and the camel at home. However, he has to be careful about his villagers over on the left side, and now about the archers. There's just too much happening. Too much happening.
Yeah, it's just what this map does to you, right? So many different things to look at. So I might be getting ahead of the game here. I might be speaking about it too early, but reminder that if you have buildings on cracked terrain, which is what the entire starting island is, you take, I think, 50% more damage from siege or whatever, right? And Gurjara elephants do they also do additional bonus damage against buildings. So if this turns into like a monk siege push and it's elephants with the cracked terrain, buildings are going to get wiped off of this island much faster than people are expecting.
I mean, fortified churches will help a little bit for Gajimata in defense, but they won't stand up that well to the elephants. They'll only just help push the monks away. As the Castle Age click comes in from both players up at the same time, the same amount of villagers, but look at those fishing ships working away behind for Gajimata. They have given him a big resource advantage here. And we'll see what Otto's able to do in the early stages of Castle Age. I love that idea of going for the siege push. I really, really like it.
I think it suits Otto. I think Otto has shown that he's very comfortable going for that. Also, he saw that Gajimata's on stone. Look at Gajimata's micro. He's like backing away with the fire. I think the worry is if Manaspa start to come out, what are you supposed to do? But I guess if you're Gurjaras, you do have the camels too, which are really strong there.
Camels,
wouldn't even mind seeing a camel being made right now. But he's going to make scouts. He's going to make archers. I'm concerned Otto the Great has not collected near as many resources. His fires are going to be looping a long way around to find fish. It's like he literally docked the spot, which takes him the longest to get to where the opponent is fishing right now. But he'll get there eventually.
I think it's just really unfortunate that Gajimata found that dock so early. If that dock was like 3 tiles further to the right, it would have been completely hidden for a very, very long time.
Yep. Scouts and archers defending here from Otto the Great. Otto the Great's going to make it to Castle Age, but without resources for me to get excited about, he will clear up this archer. I think Gajamata is going to be okay with losing the archer so he could drop the castle. Otto has collected 8,500 resources. Gajamata's collected 9,700. And if this castle's not stopped, Otto could have some big problems. He's not going to stop the castle, though, Dave. He's going to have to find some answers elsewhere.
Yeah, War Galley research is coming in for those fires that are now attacking the fish at the back, or trying to, but defensive fires there from Gajamata. Really great job to keep the fires at home and keep his fish eco working. Shravamsha now being added in from Otto. That could be annoying, but Manaspa are going to be the key unit here in this game. And they're, as you said before, they're extremely difficult to counter once you mass them up.
Yeah, and they're very easy to mass, too. They do produce very quickly. Oh, look at that from Otto. Does bring his fire behind the others, but he's still going to lose his fires to Gaja. And at this point, the fish, while it is helpful, it is pretty much designed to get you to this point. I don't think the fishing ships are make or breaking anyone here. One player's had fish and has brought in a lot of resources with it. The other one has not. And there's the unit. That's the unit to be scared of. Otto's going to need monks. As we have a town bell click from Gajamata. He did that by accident on the Bay game in the first round. And a lot of pros have that unbound.
Disabled. Yeah. But this is a new patch. Maybe there was a...
No, it should be the same exact hotkeys. No, I think it's a player who hasn't unbound it. Like, Doubt still has it, for example.
Yeah. I don't think this is Doubt.
No. I don't think it's Doubt either. I think we saw Doubt with King Steven. I mean, people need to look at VODs and look for the one instance someone accidentally rang the town bell. But it's just not something pros use. It's just so many people have been around a long time. I think that's what it tells you. This is a new pro who's still using B for builds, and then they misclick their TC. They're still, or they misclick a build. They're still selecting the TC, and then B also is there for town bell.
It's not like all in Manaspa production here. We got monks as well. Spearman dealing with the scouts before they can snipe. That monk is beautiful. And then the forward dock, of course, with the demo rolling right by. Otto, if he's paying attention, should be able to finish off the fishing ships. And he pulls them back. The fish might be killed here shortly.
Camel's going to get converted there. So just shows how much is happening on this map. Fishing ships are going to start to get killed off here. But camels are going to be needed to deal with those Manaspa. It is 48 builds against 57. So just 2 TCs against 3 as well. I think the eco upgrades are also looking really, really bad for Otto. He's going to have to catch up there. But he is finding some kills. Nice kills to find. This is a map, Dave, where we could very frequently see it go late. I don't know if we're ready to have the conversation on which civ is better late. But I think that's an important thing to remember right now for Otto. Is like, you can take some losses. You can be behind an eco as long as you can stall the game out and just keep yourself from being broken.
Gajara's against Georgians late game? Kind of like Gajara's a little bit, right?
Yeah, chakrams and...
Oh! He takes it. He take the hit, bro. Yo, that villager was like, come at me. Come at me.
I think, yeah, I agree with you. I think Gurjaras could be really strong with the camels and their upgrades and also the chakram. But look at Gajamata, brings the units forward. That camel has led them to his friends, and he's like, yo, pick that one. That's my favorite one. Meanwhile, archers are picking off some villagers here. But just really nice fights there for Gajamata. Camel gets converted back. All is good again. And still the archers going to town there.
Yeah, we've seen like random Shravamshas sniping villagers on the docks, whatever. Now we see those 3 archers still finding value. Manaspa not being masked because he's trying to get his eco rolling behind it. And it's 60 villagers against 63. The fish are still alive back there, but the total res collected isn't as far ahead as I thought it would be. That would be way more
I
than
also
2K
think
with the fish alive this
I
long.
also think it's like super, because this is somewhat new for us to always have on screen. I think it's like everyone's general process when watching is like, look at the fights, look at res collected. Look at the text, look at res collected, right? We're always looking at that. But you got to look at what it's going to lead to as well, right? There's 6 monks, there's 2 Manaspa right now for Gajimata. So right now, he's going to win an imp race, but he's not going to snowball against Otto, which gives Otto time to maybe get a castle down, get a couple relics, sort out some of these eco upgrades he's missing. Hopefully get these villagers across before another demo arrives.
Listen,
things like
that villager earlier bought time for these vills to get across, okay? He tanked that demo shot so that there wasn't a demo just sitting there. That villager,
dude, there's another one on the way. This is what Gajimata did this constantly when he played in his first round up against Gregory. And I mean, I don't even know if it was worth it because there were many instances where he did just kill one villager with demos. But I guess the idea is make it difficult for your opponent, and maybe you'll get lucky and kill a bunch of units. There, you convert some units. And
there's a demo on the way, dude. There's a demo on the way, and the camels might come back to deal with us. I don't think so. The camels are dealing with the monks right now. The monks are trying to reconvert the Sharamshas or the Manaspa, and the camels are coming back. Oh,
but they are spread out. No, oh god. Horrible for Otto. He will still kill these monks. He's still not further behind in vills. I think this is fine. He can heal up the camels.
This is fine. He can heal them.
He can stabilize. The lack of horse collar was hurting him. He ended up getting that tech too.
Yeah, there is something going on underneath the town center. And once again, Otto just not fully realizing what's happening. Manaspa getting a lot of value back here. And the Eco Kitty is starting to climb a little bit for Gajimata. 92 vills against 80. So villager difference also expanding.
And like just the technologies, dude. And he's gonna have another castle soon. Little style move there from Gajimata's not Shravamsha, sorry, his Manaspa. And we knew that Gajimata had the better position. We didn't really see it translate into big attacks. Finally, we're starting to see some attacks here. And we're seeing more upgrades too. And I think what I would do is you continue to make Manaspa because, like, why not, right? You see camels, but you can run away from them. But you want to hard commit your opponent into camels, and then you go into pikemen to counter the camels. That's going to be the plan here for Gajimata.
Camels still clearing up the numbers. We still have enough stone for a castle, which he hasn't placed. Yeah. And it's already 2 castles here from Gajimata with a really solid food economy, and those fortified churches boosting everything. 5k res collected ahead now. Gajimata at any point can just choose to go up to Imp if he stalls out production and should be in a pretty good spot. But Otto isn't out, folks. Even though he's behind right now, Gajaris should have the better late Imp composition in this Civ matchup.
Otto wanted to go forward castle there, and he's like, oh, okay, there's a castle there, and decides against it. So he's going to build his own defensively. His opponent doesn't know that that castle is going up. If he knew the castle was going up, he would definitely rush to Imp himself. There's another demo, dude. Like, this is constant. Always sending demos to that crossing. Yeah, you can see builders. But he's still producing Manaspa because he doesn't see the fact that there's a castle there. And Otto the Great is intentionally stopping Vill production here so he can go up to Imp to make trebuchets for those castles.
Manaspa are coming in, though, and that's 4 monks. Just dead. Instantly. Dead. Gone.
Yikes. And you can't engage with your camels because the opponent has monks to back it up. And he'll just convert your camels, and that's the perfect engagement for Gajimata. Hope is dwindling right now for Otto. And Otto, don't run too far here. There might be demos. Both players are imping at the same time. Gajimata with 51 on food, a forward castle, and 4 relics back at home. What a beast.
Yes, crazy eco management here from Gajimata, and Otto wasn't able to make it as crazy as he wanted to in the early game, right? He wasn't able to stall all of this out. He's given time for Gajimata to expand his food eco. 51 is crazy versus the 23. And a lot of that's being stalled out right now by the Manaspa pushing forward as Otto tries to go for another castle here. Manaspa are still pushing in. The Camels have avoided this fight because of the monks behind.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if nothing else, you have to win this Trebor. So I know it looks bad, but Otto is just thinking Trebor or bust at this point. I got to drop my other castle. It's obviously quite bad for him, but his castle's at least going to go up. It does feel like Gajamada's expansion with his eco and his ability to multitask is just insane here. Dave, he still has another demo on that shoreline. He sent another one, okay? He is Manaspa in 4 different spots. He's going to be tech switching into infantry. Like, what can this man not do at this point? I know he's had the lead, but this is seriously impressive.
Yeah, and now he's looping the monks around to try and deny that TC, and Otto has to leave. It's only 1 castle versus 2 on this side, so potentially Otto could win that Trebor, but he's still going to have to worry about the Manaspa coming in because he doesn't have any castles defensively near his farms, and it'll be a constant headache for him. Meanwhile, the eco for his opponent expanding. He could go Elite Manaspa right away when he gets to Imperial Age. That's insane.
Yeah, I agree. And you can go Elite Manaspa against regular Camel, no problem, right? The unit's going to be strong enough. You don't have to. I think Halb is like the safe play. But a combination of then just regular Manaspa with the Halb is going to be great. And, oh, no, the mill!
Not the
Don't
goal!
steal them! Okay, what if he demos them, dude? If he demos them right now, oh, that would have been next level
Dude,
stuff.
you can't demo your own livestock.
That's a good question, though. I thought you could maybe delete it and kill your own livestock. No,
no, because you can't kill your own units.
But it's not a
with
real
a demo
unit. It's a source of food. You know. Have you ever tried it?
Well,
have you ever tried it?
Have I ever tried goat or cow? Yes.
No. Okay, you're trying to dance around the question here.
Wait,
did you ever
are you asking me if I've tried blowing up animals?
No. In the game, you... Okay, all right. 200 population here for Gajamada. Otto the Great's trying to defend. It's not looking very good, so I was trying to find something else to talk about. I don't believe my co-caster knows what he's talking about. I think that it's possible you could maybe friendly fire your own goats and your own cows. Trebs are on the way. Halbs are going to be in front of those Trebs, and that's the problem here, Dave, because... thank you, Mapu, for clicking the cow. I think that ideally you dive onto those Trebs and you go kill them. But if the Halbs are there, you've got no chance of doing that.
Okay, 3rd castle. He doesn't have any stone, man. He doesn't have any stone, and he doesn't really have gold to buy stone either, but he takes out the castle from Gajamada, and Gajamada's trying to come in with the Halbs. We have Otto trying to house wall in front. The Camels aren't doing that much good, but the castle behind is providing good support. But, I mean, Gajamada is Manasping so hard right now. He's got Manaspa everywhere. They're killing all of the villages. They've already cleared the main island. And it's only 105 bills versus 143. Res collected is insane, the difference.
Yeah, and it's like, you might see the, you might see that you just took out that castle and kept your Trebs alive and all the Halbs died, and you might be like, oh my god, I might have a chance. And then you look back to your eco for a second, and you just see bodies everywhere, and realize, oh no. Yeah, I don't even think Gajamada has to force the issue here, but I think he can. He's continuing with his Trebs. He's got like a quarter of his economy repairing those Trebs right now. Oh my goodness. That's maybe a little excessive.
You have all of this, plus you have 25 Halbs in the queue, plus you have Elite Manaspa on the way. You're feeling so comfortable right now. Your opponent is only trebbing down your own Trebs, and you're still pushing them back while raiding the economy. Gajamada realizes they're on the verge of going through the semifinal. Otto is realizing that it's maybe not going to happen, but they still fight on.
Yeah, and, you know, there's just no eco now for Otto. He doesn't have anything in queue. His Trebs will go down. His castle will go down. And this is going to be the end of Otto the Great, who I think we can say has been great in Hidden Cup 5. He was immensely entertaining. The first series... The second series here in the quarterfinal was just so fun to watch. But while he was creative, Dave, and while it was crazy at times, the consistency and the elite level was always there from Gajamada, and he moves on after the 4-2 victory.
God, I'm really looking forward to the semi on this side of the bracket. That's gonna be kind of crazy, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We got Vasco versus Gajimata. That's an insane matchup because the level that
And
both of these brought today were incredible, and yeah.
I agree with you. I think like there's also a very big question on who Gajimata is at the moment. There's a greater question in
Mhm.
my mind than there is after the first round. But let's sum it up. Listen, this was what Otter the Great didn't need today. He didn't need a game which was 17 minutes where he rushed with Vils and died and then just continued to rush with Vils and then called the GG. You can't have this. If you're going to make it to the semifinal, you got to be clean and you got to be consistent the whole way through. That was literally our only highlight from that game. was Otter the Great losing villagers. But this game was phenomenal, and things went wrong in this game, like the archers and the spears getting through. But he hung in there, and once he got that forward position, it felt like he was never going to be broken.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Otto. I suspect it's MBL. It might be someone else, but whoever it is, they stayed true to themselves with the gameplay, and they just kept coming. They just kept coming. Even though Gajimata was probably the better player in terms of execution and maybe strategies, Otto just never gave up. And the aggression was off the charts here.
How many players died of that push right there? But instead, he kills 2 mangonels. He keeps his own alive. He pushes away all the crossbows, all the eagles, and then got this push. Like, Dave, you were saying in this moment, go somewhere else. But I think Otto was like staying true to himself here. And he was like, I'm going to stay right here, which I think our highlight is staying right here, unless my screen is bugged.
Yeah, we're going to stay right here, folks.
We are going to stay right here, folks, because Otto the Great really liked this position. And yeah, there we go. We get to see the highlight again. But yeah, I mean, he felt like as long as I keep vision on this area, as long as I control the middle of the map, I'm going to win this game. And he's like, what, 30 vills behind at this point? And he never lost this position in all reality.
Yeah, it was just a great realization that his eco was enough to keep spamming Lightcav, keep spamming Siege, even after that devastating raid by Gajimata. I mean, great job from Gajimata to come forward and find some space to sneak those crossbows around. Really gave himself a solid chance in this game. But
I thought that raid, which killed 18 vills, won Gajimata the game. I think like maybe Gajimata will look back at it and he could have considered something like Halb. But speaking to the adversity of Otto yet again, it was really impressive how he was able to somehow hold on. And it was just army control at this point. Had so much army. And Gajimata wasn't able to really get a mass of anything. I think he had at most like these 25 crossbows, but was never able to work himself above that.
Yep. Just a fascinating game. And that's why we have so many replays from it. It's because there was so much going on for like 25 minutes on this game.
Yeah. This is... Okay, so the production just told us they weren't intending to play the entire game again, but there was a bug. So they were really testing us there. Okay. We were ready to move on to this, where Otto the Great snuck a Vill. Again, it's like what I said game one. This should have never happened. He didn't see a boar, but it happened, and we're happy it happened. And what crazy resilience from Gajimata once he got surprised here.
Oh, yeah. Just the instant switch into Lightcav as soon as he saw that. Like, how quickly were those Lightcav on the field? That was insane, right? The tech was coming in right away. They're being masked up. And then suddenly he puts his foot on the gas pedal, comes forward with the castle, even after losing the water, even while still dealing with the shenanigans in the back, goes for another castle, makes sure that it goes up here, gets conversions, and fully clears all the aggression from Otto. Beautiful stuff here from Gajimata.
Yeah, it really felt like Gajimata was like, okay, against any player, I build one castle and I chill. Against you, Otto, I've got to build multiple. And he really made sure that Otto couldn't expand. Now, of course, we knew in that moment that Otto had actually expanded. He actually had a sneak base, and he was somehow still out there. So, he kept fighting, but ultimately it wasn't enough. This game, it was insane to me. How did Gajimata have the presence of mind to counter raid with units and also defend as much as he did here? He's against Teutons who resist conversion, defending with monks, and he kept that starting TC alive, which really made it so Otto the Great wasn't able to push past it. Just
what
crazy.
I loved
And then the chop
from
through
Gajimata here, yeah, the chop through in the north was sick. I love the patience. I love the control over the map. And I think there was 2 palisade walls we saw from Gajimata. I think those are the only 2 walls he made. Oh, there's another line there, but very limited walling to keep himself safe in this game. He was controlling everything with light cav and with a few scouts.
Wow. Crazy. And I like Otto the Great. I think he's going to look at it. This was sick, dude. That should be multiple villagers dead. And Otto actually walled it and almost walled the entire demo, actually. Only lost 1 vill. And here Otto's like, okay, I can't fight water against you. You're going to play that type of game. He did a great job making sure he wouldn't lose out on lose villagers in the middle. And he just pressured the full works, dude. And again, like, that is such an awkward tower. No one looks at that tower initially and sees much value in it. But the value was not allowing the Poles to have their game. And in Castle Age, it was just all Otto the Great.
And then, of course, final game, we have the Gajara's strat. You know, he had some presence on the land. You see the monks die there. But he was never really able to get the serious damage done. And at the same time, Gajimata was picking away at his economy too.
Yeah, I think, at this stage, Gajimata had 150 vills. He had greater efficiency in some areas because of the fortified churches too, which we forgot to mention with the Georgians. And he wins the series. And it was an amazing series. Gajimata, the clear favorite there. I think, like, Gajimata has a strat that is going to work and is going to be solid for every single map. That's what I realized here after the first 2 rounds. He can play his own maps. He can play his opponent's home maps. And he's a real force to be reckoned with. So Gajimata is going to move on to face Vasco da Gama. As you said, should be a banger of a semifinal on Saturday, which we'll be casting. So, all right. Well, here's the schedule. And then there's a very important thing we need to do here for Hidden Cup 5. Really curious of what the people have to say. Vasco da Gama, Gajimata confirmed for the semi. I'll talk more about what happens tomorrow in the other quarters. But we need to do a poll here on who people think these players are. Before we do that, production, can we actually... No. Let's go to the poll now, and we can show what people voted in the past at another time. I want to see what people have to say. Dave, Otto the Great, are you in agreement?
MBL.
MBL? Yeah. Okay, it has to be. Yeah. This might be the highest percentage win. We're going to vote for the losing player who's now out of Hidden Cup. Who is Otto the Great? Vote away, people. Vote away on YouTube and also vote away on Twitch. We have it working on both now. It seems incredibly
I say
close.
that. I'm looking at the poll, and all I hear is a little French man in the back of my ear. Stay humble. Stay humble, Dave. Stay humble.
I'm seeing a couple ACCM and doubt votes, but then it's like every time some people vote for some of these other people, the new MBL votes just overtake it immediately.
It doesn't help that it's the laughing emote too. Like if someone wants to laugh, Age of Empires 2 Twitch chat, right? Pop an 11 in there.
It's funny. There's been new people, and I've seen so many comments. Why are people spamming ones? And I never really found the time to explain. I'm hope that people can pick up on that in context. That if it's like a funny moment, people spam 1. But
no, they just think you're botting, dude. They just think you're botting all your channels.
Well, these aren't real. People in the age community have thought that for years. Okay, so this might be a new record. I thought it would be more. It is 86% of votes think it is MBL. We have 4% thinking it is Doubts. And then 1% thinking it is Viper. So this means that 14% of you really need to stick around and learn more about the game. That's what that tells me, because that should be a 99.9%. Feel free to clip that and, make fun of me if I'm wrong at the end of Hidden Cup. But
What if it isn't?
I won't be. Don't what if me on this one, dude. There's no way. There's no way. Like, there's so much backing the fact that it's MVL. Okay, so the next one, Dave. You said before this series that
Yeah.
Gajimata could be Yo. There's been reports of pro players out there saying that they would bet an entire burger on the fact that Gajimata is ACCM and beat Tato in the first round, meaning Tato was swept and Tato was Gregory the seventh. I still think like those three names are maybe the biggest contenders, but Tato for me, I cannot envision him being out at this point. I have to lean towards Tato here.
I am going to say, I think it's advantage Tato for me, but I think ACCM's pretty close there. I'm not sure about Yo. ACCM is close though. I just look at the draft. It doesn't look like a very Yo draft.
Yeah. I think Tato or ACCM is my top two. What's interesting is ACCM was voted as losing in the first round against King Stephen. So we have people now in the second round. I mean, a decent amount of people thinking that ACCM is still around, which is kind of rare. I think, like, for the most part, we've had people be like, okay, this person wins and continues to win, or this
Yeah.
person is clearly out. So,
Hmm.
wow. Well, I mean, it's pretty convincing towards Tato here. About 50% maybe, but people definitely thinking it's not necessarily that clear. I'm also seeing the timer is frozen, so I don't know the situation there, but hopefully the voting system hasn't broken on us. But that's going to be like 50%. I'm thinking that's like 50% or 49% Tato, 25-ish for Yo, 25-ish for ACCM. So, okay, so let's ask this. Apart from who you think the players are, Vasco da
Yep.
Gama against Gajimata, best of 7. How do you think that looks?
Well, I think we're gonna finally see something like Islands come up there, right? And then we'll see how Vasco does on that map.
Yep. Yep.
Probably 4-2 for Vasco. I think Vasco
Yeah.
just looked so good the first set. I think it's Hera. I really think it is. And I mean,
Oh,
the
we're
eco
redoing the poll
expansion
here,
from
people.
him is crazy. Oh, poll redo. Okay, vote again. Vote again.
Redoing
I
the
hope you
poll for
didn't leave.
Gajimata. Vote away. Vote away. Sorry, folks. We'll keep talking about this. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I also do think, though, that it's tough for me to know how to rate Vasco because we don't know Vasco's opponents, right?
Mhm.
It's possible that Vasco, I mean, he's clearly, let's say, a top 3 talent. I think you're looking at like Viper, you're looking at Hera there. That could possibly be someone like Tato, maybe a Leary. We don't know if Vasco da Gama ran into someone who was, who people would have ranked 14th out of 16 or 16 out of 16. We don't know. But there was definitely a level of like of confidence. And Sumanguru looked good on day one. So I'm with you that until Vasco gets broken, I am going to lean towards him over anybody right now in Hidden Cup because it's definitely just the way the games have looked for me.
Also, stylistically, no one went for any really early pressure against him. I don't think
Yeah.
Pachikuti did. I don't think he had the opportunity to. And then
Yeah.
whoever Semenguru was a pretty defensive player.
Yeah.
So maybe Vasco is going to crumble under that pressure. Maybe they can't expand their eco in a similar way, right? So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the other thing that'll be interesting about the semifinals as we see the results here is the fact that they will now have got to see what maps the opponents played, what styles they have as they head in towards the semis. So it's no longer
Mhm.
quite as hidden, which will allow players to base their strategy and their draft on their own strengths, but also the strengths of their opponent. So that'll be fun come semifinal day on Saturday. But yeah, man, thanks for talking it through. I'm glad we had an amazing series. I was a little concerned after the start to the day being a 4-0 that we were going to have a short day, but that series is special, man. We're going to look back at that one for a long time.
Every game had its moments, even the 18-minute or 20-minute game or whatever to start that one off. So it's been a pleasure. to cast with you. I'll be back again, I think, on Friday. I don't believe I'm casting here tomorrow, but I will see you then, viewers. Enjoy Hidden Cup, and remember, stay humble.